Glad to see everyone joining back us on stream as we kick off the stage 2 for the India region. Welcome back to Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League of the India region. My name is Lucifer and joining me on the desk is going to be Mridul. I'm super hyped up and excited, Mridul, because we did see stage 1 and almost a month of a lot of action has happened, and we are going to kick off stage 2 where it will kind of sum up in about a month but over another week. But today we're going to be starting off the first stage, the second stage, first match. How are you feeling? I'm really pumped. But what about you?
Well. A first stage was heck of a journey where we witnessed a lot of teams playing it out, and it was definitely a journey which I cherished. And after the 5 weeks of action, as we are entering the stage number 2, so the teams are less, but in the end, what we want are just the 2 teams who are going to represent the Indian region. Well, for more details, you have the link coming on your screen. Make sure you go there and get all the information that you need about the Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League. Lucifer, today is the day where actually most of the teams who have already been seeded after the stage number 1, now it's single elimination. You're there and you need to perform, or either it's going south.
We'll quickly talk about all the big name teams who have given their all and are right now playing from total 3 different regions: East Asia, Southeast Asia and India. East Asia region, I think, has lost 1 team or maybe 2. Oh yeah, 2. Southeast Asia as well. We just have 3 teams left in both of those regions. Today on the India region end, we are going to be also bidding goodbye to 2 more teams, because it is going to be a tough run from here on. As you did mention, it's a single elimination stage. It's a playoff stage teams need to concentrate on. But we still have 5 on the Indian regions, and it's going to be God's Reign, Marcos Gaming, Revenant Esports, SCTL and Truerippers. But before we start the stream, right, or before we start up the matches, one team sitting right on top, witnessing all the action happening based on the seeds, is going to be Marcos. And congratulations to Marcos Gaming, because they are the first team from the Indian region to qualify for the Malaysia LAN at the Battle Arena, where they'll be fighting with the other big teams who will be qualifying and getting down to Malaysia. So I'm really excited to see which can be the second team from the Indian region as well. But what are your expectations as we start off stage 2, Mridul?
Well, the other 4 teams have already been provided their seedings. I'm really keen to see that, the position that SCTL got in the very last of the moments. We even heard in the interview that was not the plan, to actually lose out on that match and, play a tiebreaker. But in the end, what goes well actually ends well into their favor. At last, they played a tiebreaker and they won it. So, well, now that they're seeded, it would be great for them to actually have a match, but well, the one's in danger right now that we see the match between Revenant and God's Reign. One single match. One is going to qualify for the next match, while the either one is going to bid adieu.
We will talk about the matches on hand today, because, as you said, very tough matches ahead that we have, because we've seen these 5 teams fighting out, and I'm saying for every region, right? Everybody has a group of fans supporting their respective team, and they do not want to say goodbye to any of the teams. And this is going to be a stage of the competition where they would have to be okay with it, understanding that they faced off a tougher opponent who played a better game, and for that given day managed to qualify further. Quickly explaining the entire format of what has happened over a month of now is going to be the first stage, where we saw the league stage, 3 regions, as I already said, 15 teams stayed. In the second stage that we are going to kick off for the India region today, whereas Southeast Asia and East Asia started yesterday and day before yesterday respectively. Playoff stage is where we are going to be seeing only 2 teams qualifying from here. 15 teams are still going to be there, but as you see, the finals, which is going to be played in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, it's going to be the offline battle arena that we are going to be seeing. Also touching upon the prize pool, we did not see any prize pool for the first stage. Second stage there is, Mridul, but that is only for the first to the third.
Right. Well, out of these 5, the ones actually placing at the first, second and third positions will be, qualifying for the Kuala Lumpur LAN. But again, even if they have got the first seed and Marcos Gaming are actually confirmed to qualify for the Kuala Lumpur LAN, they'll be having the ones qualifying between second, third, fourth and fifth to actually play a finals in the second stage and then decide this, seedings according to what they've played in their region.
Yeah.
5,000 for the first, second, and third continues. And now, taking a look over the tournament rules. Yes, the general rules are going to be 10 minutes of match time. It is going to be a best of 3 indeed. And it is going to be a 5v5 custom battle. The stadium, the map, and the arena is going to be TS Sky Ruins. Well, the items, no limits on that, and no restrictions on the Pokemon. Well, the only Pokemons which are available in the draft mode.
Yeah, I think everybody will be looking forward to playing the comfort picks, because at this point of the tournament, nobody wants to kind of switch up or experiment. And Mridul, I'm pretty sure all the viewers, like throughout the weeks that they've followed, they're like, yeah, the battle is going to be remaining the same in terms of the map, in terms of how the players like to play, and in terms of how the teams will kind of look forward to playing. But there is one small thing, it is always going to be affecting any team in the draft mode, is going to be the bans and how the teams are going to be selecting their Pokemons. As you can see, bans is going to be something, I would say both the teams are going to be even Stevens, they're going to ban one Pokemon each. Sometimes we've also seen scenarios, Mridul, that teams have actually banned same Pokemons, understanding the same risk that either of the team carry. But I would say the first team picking the first Pokemon, right, kind of put pressure on the team coming in second to make their choice next, to figure out, hey, wait, do we have to make these choices? Now we are left out with no more Dodrio, we are not left out with Urshifu, what else do we do? So a lot of permutations and combinations happens on the go, and I'm looking forward to how teams adapt to that.
Well, actually, you know, where we saw some changes coming in after the patch update happened, most of the players I thought would be actually switching out to different Pokemons out of their comfort zone. But again, the Pokemons that they stick to because of their comfort zone, even the nerfs and the bursts did not have, you know, much of dependence on them. And that is how we actually see that Urshifu also happen. We saw Scyther also coming in. So the Pokemons will actually come and go. But again, the strategies need to land right. Yes. And again, it always depends on the ban that the opponent has given to you. Always happens in the draft mode that you have to go for a plan B or a plan C as soon as your Pokemon goes on.
But right now, quickly jumping to the highlights of what we saw to end the stage 1.
我这边其实都还在省哦，省到最后非常忍不住了开下去，但是田德美又开的比较晚，最后没有走掉，因为队友过来支援了。那正面战场呢，一内局先卡了2个人，忍蛙先拉开，应该要先止损吧，这边就先停了。那个周杰招是要打吗？这里选择打不是很好吧？完蛋了，忍蛙这边有机会发挥吗？看起来最后是不太够啊！哇，最后选择回头打，真的是一个非常错误的决定啊。
フォクシーを捉えに行くところを逆手に取って迎撃する形を取っているのはシークレットシップ。月の光で回復しながら、いやそれでも絶対に割りついてくる。絶対にフォクシーを、そして何もさせません。いやこれ100 poin. Sekarang berbalik keunggulannya, tapi berhasil ditumbangkan tiga Pokemon SKV. Apakah ini akan menjadi Pokemon keempat yang akan ditumbangkan? Absol menggunakan Unite Move yang belum bisa ngapa-ngapain, langsung harus kembali lagi. Triple Back dikeluarkan, langsung Tyranitar dipukul-pukul dan harus tumbang juga di sana.
Difficult for Dodrio to feel comfortable to try and go for those back caps. Look at this Hydro Typhoon, catches out too. Snorlax goes down right away, and they do manage to keep the Blissey up for a little bit longer, but doesn't really matter. The support, the defense, it is gone. Now it's time for this offense to drop one by one on Secret Rare.
Against 536, 400,
400,
last 10
500,
400 more, 500 more.
But they need to get another
points.
score. Yeah, 35.
35, can they actually do it? 14.
No.
20 points, 20 points, 20 points is what they would lack against Marcos. A comeback in the end.
Man, Marcos.
Come in, the battle begins at the legendary pit. There you go, the action from Mamoswine, and the damage goes in, but divine. The Mamoswine has already taken the damage, goes in, up for themselves.
We had lost track of time because the SATL look like they're commanding everything, and Rayquaza is stolen. Tio takes it away, runs away, gives his team a chance to close this game, but wait, his teammates are unable to score. Ouch! Reggie Aliki!
不残血回来，反而是有机会把人给换掉，剩下螃蟹一个人。火狐后面 Poke 伤害看起来够哦，火狐的伤害来了，开始轰炸了，轰轰轰，哇，全没啦！
Best of the best teams are giving it their all from every region. You can see how chaotic it has been throughout the weeks as well to just qualify, get a better seed. It has pushed limits and bounds of players and teams of their executions and what they could do better just to get a better, I would say, positioning. Let's jump to a quick schedule to give you guys the entire overview of what we are going to be having, which has concluded, what is going to be happening today, what you can expect in the next upcoming week, and when is going to be the finals. Right now in the schedule for the India region, you can see it's going to be God's Reign versus Revenant Esports, and then we are going to be seeing winner of match 1, which is God's Reign versus Revenant, playing against Truerippers. But Mridul, even more excited I am is because we concluded the last week with the match God's Reign versus Revenant Esports, where God's Reign finally showed up some glimpse and rays of hope for not only their fans but for their team to get a chance to move into the land, right? But do they again manage to do it? Because they did that against Revenant, so Revenant will not be happy of what concluded the previous week.
Well, I think the revenges might happen or might not, but again, the similar kind of match, what we saw in the last week, once again is going to be done today. God's Reign going against Revenant Esports, a time where a revenge can happen, or either the only match that God's Reign have actually won, they would win it again because they know their competitor, the main competitor that they always would like to fight for. Marcos Gaming ended at the first position after the first stage, the second position is there with SATL, and the third position is there with Truerippers. Both of them have the same amount of points, but again, the tiebreaker which happened between SATL and Truerippers, the winners were Team SATL. For the fourth position, you have got Revenant Esports at the fourth position, whereas God's Reign, the only match that they have won, 3 points, and they are at the fifth position. Well, Revenant, the only plus point is that they had was winning a single game against Marcos Gaming, or either Revenant would also have lost all the 4 games.
Right now, whatever happened in stage 1, I think all of the teams need to forget, get a reset. As you mentioned, they've gotten their positions. There's nothing in this league table that they have to be worried about. It's about the stage 2 draft, or it's the stage 2 brackets that they have to be worried about, where you can see Truerippers are going to be comfortably waiting to see what Revenant and God's Reign are going to be bringing in action. So they get a chance to watch out what is going to be happening before they actually indulge themselves in a match, whereas Marcos and SATL, for at least this week, will be comfortably sitting back because they don't have anything to do, but one main thing is to watch who their most probable opponent can be. Well, I'm really intrigued, Rudul, here, what can happen between God's Reign and Revenant. I mean, this is the match for ages. This is the match of, I would say, champions, if you want to put it in simple words, because these teams, whenever you've seen, especially in the Indian region, come up, these two teams end up being on the high tables and try to fight for the champions title. And Revenant were denied previously in the India Open 2022. So God's Reign might want to keep up that title along with it to qualify to the LAN, but Revenant is going to be an obstacle, and Revenant, pretty sure this time they don't want to be a runner-up. They'll be looking forward to their chance in the LAN.
Oh, well, definitely. And when you actually talk about both of these teams, 50% chance would always be there for them to actually be there in the day 7. But again, even if they win the first match, the clock of negativity, or I would say, the shadow never goes off from them. They would actually have to play a match against Truerippers today and then actually, qualify for the day 7.
They are brilliant teams, as you said, but how will these teams matchup today is going to be a big question. I'm pretty sure majority of the viewers know all the players: Divine, Kyle, Omen, Scepter, Noxie on the other end, Badshah, Crowley, Blizzard, Swifty, and Zshol. And we can like individually pick out players and talk about them. We know Divine is the agile, Crowley is the mastermind coming in on Revenant. So there's a lot of things that we can expect from these players, but it's just about how it'll function in the initial, I would say, starting 2 to 4 minutes of the game, of who has that control and also the level advantage. But then there is the final stretch, right, where the Rayquaza appears, and in that point, which team manages to kind of strategize better, whether they start the Rayquaza battle very early or they kind of wait it out or deny it from happening. It's all about that call that they make, Rudul. It's going to be a crucial one.
Well, again, the calls, the strategies, the plan A, B or C's will come into play. But before that, let's actually take a look over the player trivia. Today, we have Swifty from the side of Revenant, rides bikes and dancing on trancing beats. So, if I remember, there was one player from Revenant only who loved the trance music. And I think they make a good pair.
It was heavy metal, I think, from Crowley's end.
Yeah. And definitely dancing on trancing beats is what Swifty likes. Again, riding bikes, so a biker I see. And the player trivia from the side of Noxie, good luck meal, vada pav, favorite song, star walking, play sports.
I think a lot of food activity these players love to do. We have seen pizza, vada pav. I remember one of the other team players also talking about some meal like they would like to have either after winning a match or just before that, which acts as a confidence booster. So it's very interesting to see, and especially the trivia today is mostly on the support players we saw coming in from Swifty previously on Revenant, and it's going to be Noxie this time, who mainly plays and indulges in Snorlax and Eldegoss. But I want to ask you, do you have any good luck meal or something like something as a confidence booster that you're like, take a quick bite and I'm good for the day? Whatever.
Well, long hours of work and studying, definitely coffee is the best thing that I can have. I'm a caffeine lover, so definitely I love coffee a lot. But again, a meal, I love food, man. I'm a foodie. I can eat anything you want. What you want me to have.
But okay, we'll jump right into what has happened when Revenant played throughout. They are right now in the 4th place. As you can see, their 5 matches that they've played is right in front of us, or 4 matches to be specific of the 5 days. In the second day, they had no match. They started off with a victory against Resetiel, but after that, nothing worked out for Revenant. They could have had a situation where they could have kind of tied up in points, and we were talking about that 3-way tie which could have happened if Revenant got a chance to win and beat God's Reign. It would have been interesting. We tried to break down, we tried to screw our minds to figure out what can happen when that triple-way tie happens. But unfortunately, it never unfolded, Mridul. But nonetheless, Revenant do get a chance right now to take down God's Reign for what happened previously, denying them a chance of a 3-way tie. But still, I don't have the right clue of what we are going to be starting off today. Because in the stage 1, at least, we got an idea that teams have at least one match to lose, Mridul. But in stage 2, none of the teams can risk even a single game in the match itself. So, what God's Reign are cooking, what Revenants have bought in new, is something to watch out, and I think nobody wants to miss that action. So let's jump right into the draft phase.
Well, we actually begin with the very first match of the day, number 6. A fate for God's Reign and Revenant. This time, once again after the week 5 ended, it is going to be a same kind of matchup, but after they have got their seeds. Revenant sits strong at the 4th seed and God's Reign at the 5th seed. To talk about these two teams, now this best of 3 and only one team is actually going to go forward with their match against Truerippers. Okay, so the ban phase is over. We have Dodrio from the side of God's Reign getting banned, and on the side of Revenant, it's going to be Urshifu banned for the opponents.
Which means there's Cliffable, Hoopa, and the newly introduced Comfy. I'm not too sure if teams are adjusted to Comfy, because likely to the other supporters, right? It's a little bit too squishy. So I don't think Comfy is going to be included very early here. Maybe in the later stages. But quickly talking about the picks as well, Hoopa is back, but it's going to be on God's Reign end. Surprising that Revenant did not pick it, but understanding that Revenant need Mew for Crowley. They make it an immediate choice coming in. Zishal goes in on the slow bro. Kyle on the other end, his first pick for God's Reign end was none other than the Scyther, or Sizer if you want to say, but Crowley also getting another one on board. I mean, after Mew, if you ask me which other Pokemon on the range attackers end do you always would like to pick, it will be Glaceon or Cinderace, because I've been playing Cinderace throughout just to grind and get to master, and I know it kind of becomes easier to do more damage. But no Cinderace for me, unfortunately. Sadly, I've not seen it throughout the tournament.
But a Delphox, but a Delphos also becomes a great choice when you actually talk about being a ranged attacker, and it is there with God's range. So a Scepter
especially the ability to spin.
Yeah, exactly. The ability to spin, and definitely we have seen Glaceon getting a lot of damage whenever we talk about the ice always being there on the Nira. So the final preparations begin. Both of the sides are done with their picks. The switches might happen or might not, but yeah, they'll be all good with their picks. And this is the time we begin with the very first matchup. Sizer, Hoopa, Delphox, Gardevoir, and Snorlax for God's Reign.
To pay attention on Revenant side, they don't have an all-rounder. No speedsters coming in. 2 ranged attackers, 2 defenders, and 1 supporter. Whereas somehow, I would say, well-balanced is God's Reign squad. They don't have a speedster, nothing to be worried about. Teams have played without speedsters throughout the tournaments. But they have an all-rounder, they have a ranged attacker, they have a supporter, they have a defender. So, let's see, looking at the pick choices and how they've composed this all, God's Reign might just have a little bit of an advantage. But again, having 2 defenders, right, in case your ranged attackers are facing any hefty deadly blows coming in from God's Reign, they can gobble it up.
Oh well, definitely now it's the time that actually, the phases begin. The very first stage, players will be looking over for the evolution. More and more HP points would be gained, and fast evolutions, fast leveling up would always what they want. But again, we begin from the side of God's Reign, and we see that the damage on them is actually growing a little hard, because Revenant again is looking for some great amount of passive damage already happening on both the sides. So the bottom lanes and the top lane both looks busy at this moment, but Revenant is going all strong, and they might be able to enter the positions okay. God's Reign have took a fall back, and they'll be holding their spots in their goalposts.
Glaceon has finished his mid laning, and on the other end it is the Gardevoir who's also finished his mid laning. Glaceon is completely leveled up from the Eve it was, but on the other end it's still the Kirilla, so needs to evolve to the Gardevoir. But in the meantime, attacking at the right moment when the wild Pokemon spawn in the top lane. Bottom lane it can be a similar thing, but look at that, Hoopa immediately again putting down a portal. It's just for the lanes, but Omen is back again. He understands that he needs to evolve. He cannot go fight. He needs to get to that Gardevoir farm. But I really like how Revenant are playing smart, trying to get the last hits so that they level up better compared to God's Reign, and Kyle is feeling that, because you can see there are 2 players who are level 5 and Kyle is the only one who's level 5 trying to hold top lane.
Oh well, with that on the side of Revenant, we actually see that at last no KOs have happened till now. And look at that, the first stretch already goes in vain. No points added. It is going to be a 0-0 on both the sides. And as I actually talk about the KOs, it was going to be a KO on Scepter. But Scepter actually gains the HP.
This is to tell that both the teams are trying to play as strategic as possible and wait for the opportunity. Opportunity presents, Blizzard scores a big 30. Nobody is overextending. Even from God's Reign, they're not indulging in a fight. But right now it can be a 4-man push at the bottom lane. It can be difficult. Noxie is here to help with the Delphox Scepter. He's a little bit lower end of the spectrum in terms of the health as well as the level compared to all the other players. Noxie is drained a lot, and now Zishal is also looking pretty beaten up, but somehow everybody managed to survive and back off. But in the meantime, Revenant do things better is because they've constantly managed to score something or the other.
Oh well, definitely. When you actually talk about water total, getting those points for the team, 37 points have already been added, and is the lone one actually being there on the top lane, whereas the Sizer actually arrives. So again, 7 points more, but again they have the lead for their team, whereas 30 points have already been added from the side of God's Reign. Damage goes strong, but Noxie with the Snorlax knows what he needs to do. Even if he's getting the damage, taking the damage would not be his choice. Just get the damage and save your team as fast as you can. So At last, the 7-minute timer we touched, and we have the Regis present. No one is aiming for the Reggie for now, and Reggie C. Let's see who actually gets it.
The very crucial thing right now is going to be these Reggie fights, because both the teams look even Stevens in the levels that they are in. Nobody is like jumped up who's looking at double digits. So super crucial is going to be who gets the Reggie. Heavy control coming in from Revenant on the bottom lane. Heavy hitters. They've been draining a lot of health of God's Reign. God's Reign in the meantime also gotten some score, but the Unite comes in. They use the singularity to confirm. But did they get the Reggie still? I'm still looking forward to it, but nonetheless,
Chaos Streak of 4!
He doubled down. He's already in double digits, and that's the reason.
Gardevoir on roll.
Yep. He steamrolls Revenant players.
Look at that, 136 points. That is the amount of lead Revenant has picked up. And this is what they were cooking for. They knew they had to get the level 10 as soon as possible. A perfect evolution. And then you saw the destruction coming in from Gardevoir. Now, at the Legendary Pit, we have some Pokemons available. Definitely, the points would be added. More and more Eos Energy would be grappled up. But now it's about the top lane. Revenant needs to buckle up and actually score for the team. There you go. God's Reign getting a KO by the Delphox. Revenant once again facing the disadvantage. The Blastoise will also go down as Snorlax stomps him down.
Golzone's been destroyed. Everybody's on the top lane coming in from God's Reign. They're trying to isolate Crowley here if possible. Noxie did use his block. They're also in the meantime trying to take down Regieleki, but there can be a stop coming in. But before that came through, they will be done with the Regieleki as an ally, and they'll be pushing to the bases. God's Reign are looking superior in this early start of the match. The 5 minutes are done, only 4 minutes or 4 minutes 40 seconds remaining, and the chaos are only working in the favor of God's Reign. And look at how well God's Reign switched up. There was a portal used, understanding that there's a hefty stack coming in from Revenant on the top lane. Let the Regieleki do its job. We'll all switch to the bottom lane, and the entire bottom lane goal zones have been destroyed. Their base goal zone is vulnerable right now, Mridul.
Oh, well, their base goal zone is actually going to be vulnerable as the Regis are getting available much for longer times for the fights of both teams. But again, when you talk about Revenant Esports trying real hard, God's Reign is going bonkers as they have already destroyed the bottom lane side. And look at that, the top lane is also not secure. The bottom lane getting destroyed, and the amount of defense God's Reign has formed up. One more Reggie spawn, God's Reign are already up for it. They want each and every Reggie for themselves. A 5v5 comes in, the Unite moves out, and there's a KO from Blastoise. The revenge has been taken, and therefore the Reggie also goes in the favor of God's Reign as Gardevoir takes it.
Yeah, the Revenant find one KO, but it's of no use. That Regirock coming in, look at them sweeping back in for the fight. Scyther Kyle finds 2 KO, he's looking for a third, but helping out because he was super low was the Gardevoir. That's Omen, picks up a 2 KO streak of his own.
Down.
God's Reign are looking unmatched today. A brilliant performance coming in from them. How well they've strategized, leaving Revenant no positions to push up.
Yeah.
It was a 5v5 even Stevens fight, and the first KO was also found from Revenant. But just Omen, right, who's already at level 14. Can you imagine? We are at still 3 minutes of the game. Such a big level advantage coming in, which God's Reign right now have, which will be undeniable. This only way to fall south is going to be taking down the Gardevoir and then stealing away the Rayquaza before the Gardevoir spawns back. Because already Gardevoir, which is a rare sight here, Mridul, has used Unites twice the singularity, both the times to secure the bottom Reggie.
Well, a lot of knockouts have already happened on the side of Revenant Esports. And there you go, Delphox would actually able to get one more pick for the team. And for him, it's going to be a rocking roll situation. Whereas the Blastoise was able to get a revenge for the team. But again, look at that, Noxie right now being silent for the right moment. 3 more seconds and the Rayquaza will be here.
Crucial fight here. Both the sides have Unites ready, propped and ready to start throwing them down. Crowley's position is compromised. Crowley! Oh no, he's stuck and the teammate has been called. Kyle can find an easy KO. Crowley tried to run away. portal being used for both their players who were low to completely heal up. But in the meantime, Revenant are trying to drain the health of none other than the legendary Pokemon, the boss coming in. But they are popping off the Unites. The first one is out from Divine. Crowley is looking super low. There is the Eldegoss who has used the Unite, but Kyle comes in with the Green Illusion dive. Takes down one, looking for to take down more. And yes, they confirm with Chaos as well as KO on the Rayquaza. A clean sweep. Everybody from Revenant have been wrecked and sent back to their base. They're all in the respawn counter. And this is a done deal. Close. There is no way this can be stopped here, Mrudul. What a dominating performance from God's Reign to start it off. This is something that we did not see or expect to start like this.
Well, you did not see or expect it, but here you go. God's Reign are still going in for the perfect performance that you want from them. 797. The destruction goes on. Look at Blastoise going for the Unite move. Okay, is tagged, is low, wants to return back to the base and would be successful. Wreckage happens and still goes on. It's 857. We still have 30 seconds remaining. And it looks like a Diwali right now. OMG. 871 against 141. The Unites coming back on the side of Revenant. 885 is what they have touched. The knockout once again happens on Glaceon. Another knockout. It's a KO streak coming in for Gardevoir. 3 KO streak, 961 that they've reached. Can they reach 1,000?
Oh my God.
KO comes in from Eldegoss. Last 5 seconds. They might have touched 1,000 for them.
I don't care at this point, but to tell everyone, Omen, the first time he was KO'd is in that last 10-second fight. Until then, he's the one who survived the longest, never got KO'd. Unbelievable show coming in from Omen. And this is a clear-cut example of what happens when you have a big level difference to your opponents and to yourselves. And you can see everybody is in a 2-level difference compared to God's Reign players. The Revenant did not even get closer, and especially it was Omen who played really smart. Went to the bottom in the early 2-3 minutes, helped with his teammates, and once he understood that his mid lane wild Pokemons are back, the Asilagor and his Kevlar, he went back to fight with them, got those orange and purple buffs for himself, fought with anywhere that he found the wild Pokemons to level himself better, and always stayed with his teammates. And again, credits goes to the entire squad of God's Reign, making sure that both Omen and Scepter never got indulged in a fight alone and never got KO'd back to back.
Well, with this kind of performance, what God's Reign have shown already in their round number 1, or I should say the game number 1 of match 1, this is just destruction, as you
Look at the data, damage, 128,000 from Omen.
Like Omen on the other hand, and when you actually talk about Crowley or Mew, yes, the Mew was also able to add 13 level points, but still not actually able to match it up against Omen. Yeah. Omen was just on another level, getting those knockouts. The KO streak, where we saw 2 KO streaks, one of 4 and one of 3. So endless KOs coming in for the side of Omen, performing so good for the team, and that is how much he has added with the Gardevoir for the team. Well, again, the first game has come to an end, but again, the first match still continues. It's a 1-0 on the best of 3, and look at the leaderboard. It started off as, being 0-0 at the 2 minutes. Then actually, it was God's Reign with just, a 11-point lead. At some point of time, around 3 minutes, or I would say 2 minutes, 30 seconds, it was Revenant who started first. But again, in the end, 987, Revenant, OMG. God's Reign was exceptional.
Yeah, they were exceptional. I mean, flawless executions coming in from them in terms of where they wanted to fight, when they wanted to fight. Because as you rightly mentioned, here you can see it is just God's Reign getting all the goals, especially in between of 2 to 6 minutes is where they got some points. And after that, the majority was only after the 8 and the 10 minute, which is the final stretch. Whereas Revenant, they started not in the 0 to 2 minute mark, but from the 2 to 8 minute mark, they were slowly and steadily getting something in. But it was actually the fights that God's Reign concentrated on so that they can be level better. And it'll all start from the Regis itself. And I'm pretty sure Revenant never expected Omen to come out with his singularity so early on. In like the 6-7 minutes that were still left out, he pops off the singularity. Who would have even thought that God's Reign had such, I would say, wonderful thought, well executed strategy ready, and here this was the second Reggie fight, and again the singularity gets popped, and Omen confirms the Reggie for the team again.
Well. When we actually take a look over to the replay here, Lucifer, we also see that Sizer had a kill streak. So again, any play you talk about from God's Reign was actually able to deal a lot of damage. And as you rightly said, focused on a lot of fights, executed them well, and had the power of Reggies. So every single point getting added up for the team. You know, when all the things get tied in the loop becomes a circle and gets infinite. And that is what happened. Infinite amount of points being added back to back. It was just God's Reign getting those points into the goal points. Well, with that, they ended around 987, and this is the amount of lead that they have picked up.
I mean, if we go back to the battle data also to talk, right, there is not like a lot of stuff has been done, brother. It is 11 knockouts that we can see coming in from Omen with 8 assists as well, and Divine has 17 assists from his end, so it's not like a lot of chaos he just picked it up. But Omen, whenever he picked up the chaos, it was all impactful ones. It was never look like, okay, this is not something that he wanted, this is where somewhere he wanted to find a help for his teammates, or it was never look like it was a stressful situation. God's Reign looked cool as a cucumber, I would say. That's what I can kind of come up with. I never saw that they had to be worried of how the fight was going, right? Because they had almost destroyed the entire bottom lane. There was only the base goal zone left, and in the top you could see Revenant, they were guarding their last goal zone which is there, which is breakable on the top lane, the second one. They tried, but not in the final stretch because they were ready. And how well they strategized. Noxy, a brilliant play. Kyle was ready for the call. Noxy, as soon as he said Crowley is here, went for an immediate heavy slam, and then Kyle also swooped in. Crowley was about to be taken down. But let's see if it will happen again. Let's jump into the draft phase quickly and see if Revenant are actually going to get back into the game. This is going to be super interesting. I'm not too sure, Mridul, what's going to be happening now, because God's Reign, this is one of the best days that I've seen, or one of their best games until now.
Well, God's Reign came out of the blue with this kind of performance and actually blew up the side of Revenant. With that, the ban phase actually comes to an end, and we see the same kind of bans. God's Reign coming up with a Dodrio ban, and Revenant goes for an Urshifu ban.
No changes in the bans. Kyle again immediately sticking onto the Scyther, and I'm pretty sure God's Reign will try to pick the same Pokemons, and Revenant are the only ones who will try to deny them. And you can see quickly, Zishal picked the same Pokemon previously as well, Slowbro, but it is the Delphox coming through from Badshah this time. He's like, okay, Mew did not work, if we have to give it back, let's give it back, but let's pick a different Pokemon. And Scepter on the other end, getting a chance that the Mew is back. He's going to be picking it up with Divine back on the Hoopa. But the main thing that I really enjoy, with a hefty Pokemon, a Pokemon who needs to do a lot of damage, they brought in the Machamp with the attack weight, scope lens, and Razor Claw. This is going to be tough. If Machamp starts getting hits on God's Reign Pokemons, he's going to faint every one of them and send them to their bases.
Well, again, the pick phase coming to an end. We see a Mamoswine coming in, and we saw even in the match of S8 UL versus Truerippers, or either each and every match where Mamoswine has also created a lot of destruction. And when it actually comes about destruction, Mamoswine is a Pokemon that the team would always want to choose. This time it's going to be Revenant actually taking it for themselves. They are going in for a Gardevoir, as it was left over for them. And Scepter actually chooses the Mew, which was left for them by the side of Revenant.
Brother, this is like an exact mirror composition in terms of only the ranged attackers. Mew and Glaceon was picked up from Revenant. Gardevoir and Delphox was picked up from God's Reign. And both of them has decided to switch their ranged attackers. I mean, I don't know what's going to be happening. Swifty, he's gone in for a Snorlax, denied Noxy of picking it up, but I mean, I was denied of a Pokemon yesterday, which again I talked about Cinderace that I want to play. Somebody else picked it up. I picked up a Mamoswine, and again, compared to Snorlax, I would say Mamoswine has a lot more damage dealing abilities, not only for the Pokemon itself, but the team as well.
Well, with that we start with the very second game, and this time, Lucifer, it's going to be God's Reign already at a lead. 1-0 is what they have, and if they actually win it by 2-0, it's going to be a bye-bye that we bet to Team Revenant Esports.
Our viewers, if they're wondering, this is the best of 3 or a best of 5, I had to mention this. This is the best of 3 still we are going to be seeing in the second stage as well. When we head over to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for the finals, then might be a best of 5, but we'll wait for it. But for now, you can see initial goals coming in from God's Reign, but KL this time overextends, gets punished early on, and in the early 30 seconds itself, or 40 seconds of the game, we see the first KO.
Okay, so the first KO already comes in, and Noxy
isn't he overcommitting too much?
Yeah, he is, and he's actually looking for the evolution. Early evolutions is what he actually looks out for. Piloswine as soon as possible, Mamoswine as soon as possible, and this is what God's Reign was focused for towards the fight. But Delphox, oh no, as you said, the distractions coming into play would actually, face a negativity towards the side of God's Reign.
Scepter and Omen both are on level 5. This is interesting. Bottom lane looks stronger compared to the top lane, because top lane there have been a lot of chaos that we are seeing. Kyle is again stuck. There's no way that he could have been helped, but at least takes down the Machoke for now. He has to evolve to the Machamp, but it is a little bit interesting of how things are unfolding. But Slowbro, I think he has overextended his stay towards the God's Reign players, trying to take away their wild Pokemons. But I don't think it's going to be working out for long. 3 Pokemons hitting him. He's stuck in the flux, and a KO follows up. But in the meantime, look at what Swifty is doing, trying to steal away the buffs. I don't think that's going to be possible. They do get it back and also destroy Swifty.
Well, with that, now they are at 61 against 31. Either if they're losing in the duels, but they're able to add the points. Adding the S energies would mean that they're still able to maintain the lead. But this time, they already started from the very first minute. Look at the KO that just came in with Kill. Sizer, perfect performance against the Machoke, and would be able to add some more points for the team. 87 against 61, whereas the Hoopa is also on a roll.
Right now, in terms of score, it is still God's Reign leading charge, but also in terms of how they're pushing back the players of Revenant or indulging themselves in a fight, it is God's Reign who are looking better. Holding it out, because in the next 20 seconds it's going to be the Regis that are going to spawn, but before that it's going to be again the bottom lane wild Pokemons. They're all trying to fight it out. Swifty might be stuck. Unite comes through. Omen, brilliant play previously as well, very early on in the stages. 7 to 6 minutes he had the Gardevoir Unite. Now he has the Glaceon Unite, but Blizzard finds value on one end on the top lane. Till now he was facing the KO, but he delivers one to Kael.
Well, destruction coming in from both the sides, and even a single amount of Air's energy would add a lot to get to that lead against the opponent team. With that, 87 against 85. The very first Reggie to be captured is from the side of God's Reign. The Regirock is in their hands.
God's Reign are not letting anything go in the favor of Revenant. They want to send them back right here in this stage to start the kickoff day, if you want to call it, for the playoffs, and it's not at all working. And now they'll immediately jump onto the top lane because the Reggie is still there. In the meantime, Revenant are still looking forward to a hope where they convert on the bottom lane fight. Blizzard misses his Unite on the Machamp, and now things can fall south. He does have the blue HP, but not for long because the Gardevoir is out. Scepter, he comes and uses just only the Surf. Swifty trying to take down Kael. The green illusion dive comes through, and Blizzard will be sent back. Yes, they do, and also send back Swifty. The hopes of Revenant are just breaking to shatters. They don't have anything to rely upon. Omen alone taking on the Regieleki on top. God's Reign, what is this? What is this strategy? What is this thought that they've gotten through? And an unbelievable execution that they're forcing Revenant players to react upon. No other approaches.
Well, a positivity comes in. There was a KO coming in from the side of Revenant too. Either they're actually going to pick up the pace and be matched up with God's Reign till the very last 2 minutes, or it is once again going to be God's Reign picking up the lead. And as soon as I talk about it, Revenant would be able to add the amount of points that would make them closer and closer to the side of God's Reign. Well, now it's 152 against of 127 from Revenant Esports once again. The tsunami goes in. Zishol taking a lot of damage. and at last, once again, God's Reign get the lead.
I mean, Revenant, again, they're not further back. They did and understanding that they're in a tough spot, they had to push the bottom lane, destroy the goal zone of God's Reign. On the other hand, God's Reign, they still have to destroy the bottom lane goal zone of Revenant. They have gotten the top lane destroyed, but this time Revenant are ready. They're blocking God's Reign right at where they can enter toward the bottom lane Reggie, and Reggie looks to be tough to be taken down, but Divine, he uses Unite this time, but the telekinesis coming in to stop him. Zishal tried his best, but there is the portal throughout which the players can come out, and they will be trying to get this fight head on. In the meantime, Revenant are not giving them space. The fireworks is out, which will buy them the bottom lane control. They're trying to quickly drain the health of the Regiites, but can they do it? In the meantime, what is happening is a steal. They were scoring on the top lane, but a steal happens, which is more than enough, and the Mammostein is still surviving. The Pokemon that goes down is the Scyther, so nothing to be worried about for God's Reign. They'll be more than happy. Swifty, he might just be KO'd.
No!
Mammostein is on the trail. Oh man, if not for the wall, Swifty would be fainted.
Well, faints, knockouts. The streak goes on, Lucifer, but on the other end, we see that it's going to be the ultimate comes in, and you cannot stop that Machamp from getting those KOs on your team. Well, again, points would be added. Revenant trying to get the lead that God's Reign have once again secured. Would be getting 2 KOs, not as a streak, but would be able to maintain and get one of the goalposts of God's Reign. The 2 goalposts have been shattered on the side of God's Reign, whereas if we talk about Revenant, only 1, and that is how they have 6 points of lead coming in for them. Okay, so the mid lane fights come again, and Zishal has to go back to the base.
Right now, God's Reign, the initial start and the advantage that they had in the pace control as well as the wild Pokemons has gone out from their hands. Revenant are back with full force. Level difference is also not something arguable that I'm seeing. Both the teams have even level differences where they can fight amongst each other. But right now, Reggie on the bottom is going to spawn in the next 20 seconds. There's not a lot of time between the Reggie as well as the Rayquaza, the legendary Pokemon coming through. So I think they'll just wait it out. But in the meantime, Swifty comes in with a slam, just annoying the Mammostein to push him out of these tall grasses. So they don't want to get crunched. But Swifty, he might be pushing them towards the trap or maybe a distraction, because the 4 Pokemons on Revenant's end, they're waiting for the Reggie on the bottom. It's going to be interesting.
And with that, it's going to be Revenant who are actually focusing towards this Registeel. No focus coming in from the side of God's Reign, and within that time period of getting that Registeel, it's now that we have the Rayquaza available. Well, most of them once again have the Unites available, and once again it's a mess of a fight that we would see on the side of God's Reign, as Revenant would actually be able to secure the very first KO that they wanted.
Yeah, especially that's the Hoopa, so they don't have any more portals. The Hyperspace Hole is not going to be present until and unless he's back again, and it's going to take not less than a second. But in the meantime, Rayquaza is super low. It's about 20% of the health. The Unite being used and the fireworks also going through. They confirm the Rayquaza for themselves, and Revenant are back with full force. This is all they needed to do. Wait for their opportunity and get themselves back in the game. A 321 already before the final stretch. They've gotten themselves a read. Revenant not answering so menacingly strong against God's Reign compared to the first game, but they've answered them in clean, efficient strategy. It was not chaotic, it was just properly, very sweetly answered back with a blow.
Well, a well-mannered one, I would say, because again, look at that. Revenant, as soon as they got the Rayquaza, they were able to secure the goals back-to-back and different goal posts. So the players were all set after getting the Rayquaza. We have seen that even if some players have got the Rayquaza, they are not able to add those points to the table, to the pool. But yes, Revenant was able to do so. So perfect strategy, got down for them. They got the Rayquaza, and now, even if God's Reign is able to secure 1 or 2 Pokemons from their side, it's still going to be Revenant with clear and destruction. They have the difference what God's Reign had at the time against them. So similar kind of destruction, and they might be able to reach the 800 mark. Okay, God's Reign goes in for a goal point but gets stopped by Swifty.
Nothing works. God's Reign, they'll be feeling bad about what happened in this game. Initial control, they did have it, but they lost it all when Revenant decided to go for a bottom lane fight, even though they had lost the Reggie. That's where things switched up. Quickly talking about the data in front of his screen, Scepter tried, but he has only 3 KOs and 7 assists, whereas the star player who we saw, Omen, with 11 KOs previously, has 6 this time and just 3 assists. Kyle could not find value this time. He just has 4 knockouts. Noxy on the other end with 2 and Divine with 1. But on the other end, Blizzard, I did talk about Machamp. If he's valuable and if his Unite connects. The first Unite was missed. The second one connected and it did bash the players through the wall and send them to their base. He does have just 5 knockouts, but it is all valuable ones when it was a bottom lane 5-man push or the top lane 5-man push. Badshah helped out really well. Survived, I think only died once or twice. They got KO'd, but not more. 6 knockouts on him. Zishal played really well, wasted time. Swifty on the other end was the main annoying guy coming in from Revenant's end. He was not the man who had to be indulged in fights, but he had to make sure that the tall grasses were trap free.
Well, the all-rounders have performed, with an all-round performance. The defenders got their defense strong. But what we need to actually talk about is the attackers, the ranged attacker from both sides.
Yes.
Scepter and Omen actually, after switching over the Pokemons that they had with them, a good performance from their side, but again,
for
that duo combo of, for 3-4 minutes. You're right about that. But the duo that we saw between Crowley and Badshah, that was very well. Because again, it was from the side of Gozren that it was only Omen with the Gardevoir that was, able to get most of the points. But here, the deadly duo that they formed up as ranged attackers, both of the sides, even if it's about the top lane or the bottom lane, it was a complete bashing that God's Reign faced in the last minutes. So the last 4 minutes were all cheered up for the side of Revenant. And with that, in this best of 3, we are now at a 1-1 equal scoreline. The last game will actually decide the fate of the team who is going to go in the next round of day number 6.
I mean, how interesting did it get to be? I wouldn't have thought it after seeing the first game. I thought it would have been a clean sweep because God's Reign, they look like gods itself. They were super strong. They were undeniable in whatever they wanted in terms of the top lane Regis or the bottom lane Regis. They were like, we are the ones taking it away from you. But the graph tells you, it was just Revenant trying to get closer and closer, but it was the time when they decided, guys, I think we need to get that bottom lane completely under control. Then we'll start worrying about getting the Regis back in our favor. And that is the same time when Omen as well as Scepter, both of them pushed top lane to destroy the gold zone on the top lane, the second one. And there was only 3 players left in the bottom lane of God's Reign, and they faced a hefty force of 5 people from Revenant pushing up. But Revenant were also smart. This time they kept their goals ongoing in at least one or the other player who could get those goals dunked in. They pushed Blizzard on the top lane. They made sure Zishal got his chances to score at the 6 to 8 minute mark, which was the toughest ones because God's Reign were guarding all the goal zones or trying to go for a head-on fight.
Well, again, for the very first 5-6 minutes, it was God's Reign actually leading against Revenant. And here you see that the previous match where it was a 0-0 for the first 2 minutes, there was no early starts. Players were focusing on the early strategy. God's Reign this time was going bonkers, and actually it was a moment where we saw, how the Swine was actually facing a lot of difficulty. And with the Swinub, the difficulty it faced, that is what showed that God's Reign this time focused more on the attacking side. This was a lead that they picked, but the last 3 minutes where the fate changed and complete and destruction came in from the side of Gardevoir.
And on top of this, to add it, at all times God's Reign had to fear either the singularity coming out from Gardevoir or the fireworks coming in from the Belfast. Either one of them always used to be popped. I mean, if there is no fireworks, then they use the singularity. If there's no singularity, they use the fireworks. So Crowley, as annoying as everybody knows him to be, as I would say the person who's most reliable in terms of doing a lot of damage, he did it here, supported his teammates, and you saw he also had 8 knockouts for himself. So this is what we kind of expected from Revenant, to get back in gear. But as I also saw the picks in the draft phase, right, that's when I understood, okay, Revenant have understood that they need a semblance and also somewhere that they need to kind of have balance. And that balance is what worked out really, really well for them. If there was a different situation, they again went for all ranged attackers, very few no supporters or only defenders coming through. It would have been an even tougher situation. But again, I would say this is God's Reign falling in trap to Blizzard's Unite multiple times. If that did not happen, if his dynamic punches never came through, if I think he was not using the cross chop, so if these things did not actually take a hit on the Pokemons of God's Reign, then God's Reign would have still been in action. Blizzard was actually the table turner at most of those Reggie fights and also bottom and top lane fights.
Oh well, definitely. And when you actually need to focus on how Revenant has actually made a comeback this time, it has been a great journey for them in this match, and it was actually where you actually mentioned that throughout the game they were able to secure points. Either of the Pokemons were always available on the goalpost, and at a time when around 7 minutes I said that both the goalposts, even in the bottom lane and in the top lane, Revenant were able to destroy. They made a difference, and this is where God's Reign lagged. Even if they focus on attack, this time once again they need to balance it out. We are back in the game number 3 where it's a 1-all on both sides. Revenant going against God's Reign. Now the last game in the match number 1 decides who goes forward in the Asia Champions League.
Mridul, this is a do or die right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, viewers, this is the elimination matchup that we are about to see. What is going to happen is going to be a question that our minds is breaking apart with anxiety. I mean, I'm pretty sure the players will also be a little anxious, but in terms of the bans, I was a little second late to talk about it, but you can see the Scyther coming in as a ban and the Urshifu on the Revenant. God's Reign understanding they have the first pick choice right now. What they do, they want that Dodrio back in on Omen Sand and they quickly get it, because at the end of the day, right, the score difference was not something hefty that God's Reign couldn't have chased after losing the Rayquaza. They could have done it, and they could have done it even earlier if they had somebody who could go for quick scores, and that's why the Dodrio is out.
Well, the Dodrio is out, and definitely this time that Dodrio has occurred, they won't be banning it for sure, and Omen gets it for the team. Well, again, some switches might happen. Hoopa is what they're still focusing on.
Wait.
Oh, are we going to see an AG Slash?
Yeah.
Scepter for sure is not going to leave that Gardevoir. God's Reign would definitely, realize the mistake of not having a, that Pokemon for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to change strategies if you had Gardevoir previously. This time you don't have, it's okay. But on the other end, the main menacing thing that I'm worried about, or like the dangerous sign, right? Whenever you're crossing a path, they'll be like caution. Is the Mew on Revenant's end? It was about to be in Crowley's hand, but in the preparation phase they switched it up, gave it to Badshah. So I'm intrigued of what Mew can happen. But Divine keeping constant on that Hoopa. But Cliffable being out from Swifty finally, I would love this, because the Moonlight, especially the recent buff that it has gotten, everybody has been choosing Cliffable, and it had become a standard pick at least for the previous week. This week, teams are changing it up a little bit. Let's wait and watch. But Zishal stuck to the slow bro from the start till the end of the game.
And with that, we start with the very third game of the first match. It is where we decide who goes in for the next round of day 6. Well, it is going to be also a time where we bid adieu to one of these teams. God's Reign going against Revenant, and the early, battle of getting to the evolutions first begins.
Early evolution stages is super crucial, because earlier the level advantage they get to get, easier the initial scoring and multiple KOs that you can find. Made a mistake, overstepped his welcome, and he got punished before the Machamp could even evolve. Little Machop got chopped off the block.
Choppings and chops coming back to back on the teams, and Kale is also able to add a bit amount of damage, to the opponent team. But once again, it is going to be a slow focused match.
0-0.
0-0, and for one more minute we are going to see.
Wait, is this a trap?
Yeah. It is.
Revenant need to be worried about this, and look at this, the drill peck comes to this swoop in, find one KO, the Machop is again down, Swifty might also be finished off. Crowley on the other end trying to help Swifty here, but the Sacred Sword comes through from Kyle. He's not a fully evolved Aegislash, but he's doing his job, taking players down. The goal zone is taking a beating. Bacha comes in for a help, but the heavy slam to flush him out, but immediately the portal opens to heal completely. Omen on the other end using his agility to run away.
Well, the battle still goes on, and look at that, 79 points secured by the side of God's Reign. OMG. So we looked over for a clean start, a simple start, but no, God's Reign is there to always spice it up.
Finally that evolves to a Machop. Needs to do a lot more, but on the other end, Zishal right now, he's in an iffy spot. Swifty times it perfectly to save the day, but again Zishal gets hit by Kael, none other than on the Aegislash. In the meantime, quickly Crowley gets a 30 put in, but the Gardevoir is trying to chase him, but he immediately is trying to run away to the base, but it was a bait. His teammate had to fall, and that was the Mew going down, and quickly 100 being scored from God's Reign. They're like, if we are not getting top, we're going to take away from the bottom.
42 points coming in for the side of Revenant. Cliffable actually gets a KO for the team, but again, with the defense that Revenant has got, they need to save more and more points for themselves. And Kale coming in with an Aegislash that was not expected to Revenant. It might be a boon for them or might result bad, but yeah, the points are getting for them. Their synergies are getting added, and Noxie is here to once again get the damage that you want to do on him with that Snorlax.
But look at what Revenant are doing. Smart, but a Unite gets used from Omen in vain. It doesn't find any value. Fireworks are out from none other than Crowley. They get the Reggie secured. Jumping on top of God's Reign. Omen is looking super low. Find one KO on none other than the Machoke, but none doesn't matter because the Snorlax has been taken out. On the other end, Kyle single-handedly takes down and adds an ally. That is going to be the Reggie KO on top. In the meantime, God's Reign are still trying to push Revenant are still trying to push the bottom lane to get that goal zone destroyed. 10 more goals, which should be easily done from Badshah, and that scores gets the top lane goal zone destroyed. But on the other end, God's Reign have already done that on the top goal zone.
And with that, we also see that Reggie is busy fighting with the Machop. So, gets him busy. One of the Pokemons that was required in this dual battle, it was already not available. So, a perfect use of getting that Reggie as an ally, getting added up. And on the other side, we see that Zishal and Blizzard both are now busy getting that Reggie out. So, definitely not able to reach the goal post. But the time was bide, and with the time getting bide, even if Revenant is able to secure and get themselves to 1-1-2, God's Reign are able to still maintain that lead with 20 points. Once again, we see on the side of Revenant, they're able to tag a lot of damage, dish out a lot of damage on Kale. But yes, they would be able to go secure towards the base. No, Noxie might go down in a bit. Okay, stops the destruction with the slams.
Singularity was used. Crowley was about to fall to it, but it did not work out. In the meantime, Unite comes out from another Noxie, but he's also looking super low. They want to take down the Mew. Badshah is stuck right now. The block was good. Oh, yes, they find that. And not only one, they find that double knockout because Omen respawns and he's back in. And now look at them. They're going in for a chase. A bottom lane chase coming in, which can be stopped from Crowley, who's playing in his mid lane. It's going to be super crucial. Omen tries to back off, calls Scepter to use his ranged attacks, trying to do the damage. In the meantime, Noxie wanted to go for a cheeky goal. Does not work. He's using the jump pad to run away, but wait. Badshah actually repositions. He again teleports, and this time that 20 can be actually scored. A little bit too late, but quick to take the Reggie rock on the bottom, and now Revenant are losing these chances of gaining experience and leveling up, taking these buffs away. There is still the fight ongoing. The fireworks are out again from Crowley, and yes, they regain the bottom lane control. A 2 KO streak coming in from Crowley, and this is why you have to be worried out from Crowley. We see very few players who use very efficiently on none other than the Delphox, and Crowley is one such player. Always gaining that Unite chances multiple times. He's already used it thrice now.
The thrust never goes off.
Omen chases him.
The thrust goes on again. Omen getting the chase. Begin, I would say, not the end for sure, because look at that. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The amount of destruction once again Revenant wants to cause. God's Reign is a lot. But once again they pick up the lead, and now
Blizzard.
with the Unite, Blizzard will make the difference.
Yeah, and he is. He's punching his way through cross chop and as well as dynamic punch again. Regieleki, has it been taken? No, Regieleki goes for a reset of his own. In the meantime, Godshin also reset for a couple of seconds because his teammates are respawning, and right now very low on health. They need to use their moves coming through, but the Mew still is able to close it out. Add the Regieleki in their favor, but nonetheless, Scepter gets that revenge KO, takes down Blizzard, but the goal zone gets destroyed.
Oh, 194, 12 points, and God's Reign. Noxy getting a lot of damage, getting tagged, and on the mid lane, Revenant. Slowbro requires the help. It is the time that in like more 35 seconds the Rayquaza would be appearing, but goes in for a perfect defense for a team. More points being added. Previously, it was Revenant who were able to secure 14 or 15 level for the team. This time, God's Reign is well focused for that. But in the bottom lane, they've got a good control. Okay, Hoopa comes in to stop them as soon as he called out for.
But I don't think there will be a steal coming in from God's Reign. They were not even able to reach it. 10 seconds on the clock. The Rayquaza is about to spawn. Unites on either end. This is going to be a very evenly matched up scoreline. Omen at the brisk of receiving a KO. But right now, Blizzard might actually get that same fate. Dynamic Punch just boost up the attacks. Doesn't find the connection on Kyle. And now they're all backing off towards Legendary Pit. Already towards the bottom lane, there has been a fight initiated. A hefty hold coming in from Revenant's player, who are oppressing God's Reign from getting closer. Scoreline, not a big difference, 194 to 182. A simple 10 goal being put from Revenant will push that to a double, but they catch Omen with telekinesis, and Omen going down. The Speedster is out. The cheeky scorer is out until they delay this game. 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock. Revenant have jumped right to Rayquaza. They're not wasting any time. Swifty trying to delay it from further happening. Divine on the other end. He's used his Unite. Hoopa coming through. Oh no! Cliffable also comes with a Unite. Snatches the Rayquaza away, and this is done for God's Reign. There's no way that God's Reign can put a stop to it. If they're only able to destroy this, I would say, Rayquaza shields, then it can work out. Another 100 gets scored, 382 still possible. They're pushing the bottom lane to score. Crowley is still annoying them, but they're unable to get that 50 in. The 50, 100 gets scored. Make it another, I think, 80. They've gotten a lot more AOS energy right now. 342 to 382, 50 seconds on the clock. Brutal, this is going to be the closest game. I thought I was about to call it. God's Reign are going to be losing it, but not the case. They're pushing in together right now. Aegis Slash, can he get a 50 score or a 33 at least on Noxy? If they do get it, this is the game done.
Oh, well, definitely, and look at that, 20 points added. Oh, they pick up the lead line. Oh no, it's 4-6, but oh, the 100 points would be added. The last of the seconds, and look at that, it's going so close. Well, we do have a Snorlax Snell available for the side. Dodrio adding 666 points. 100 points added, 434. They might be able to reach it. Last 10 seconds, 10 added.
Wow.
Whoa, more 10. But
I called him. Right, the cheeky scorer was out when the Rayquaza fight started. But what did the cheeky scorer Omen do? He decided that I'm going to sneak up, get the advantage of passive scoring ability, and he makes use of it. Wait.
Revenant
got 100 scored again?
Yeah.
Blizzard put up another 100 when he pushed to the base. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. I didn't see the last 10 second score, that 100. I thought God's Reign kind of closed, but wow, what a match. Revenant bring it back in. You can see Crowley with 6 knockouts, 50 with 3, but Zishal, I would call him closely to be the MVP because he has been annoying for the entirety of God's Reign. 10 assists on himself. Blizzard played magnificently. I mean,
yeah,
that was just insane play coming in. He does not have a lot of knockouts, he does not have a lot of assists, but he was damaging and he was brute forcing his way, knowing that he's the Karate King.
And again, if I would, like to talk about God's Reign completing their team, this time they brought in the luck of Kale on that edgy slash. Worked out good with the Dodrio, definitely. The small amount of points which can cover up a longer distance of, differentiation that always gets caused on the score line. Yes, he was able to do that. But again, a bit of what they lost was consistency throughout each and every minute or each and every stretch we talk about. The very first stretch, it was a good start for God's Reign when they once again, picked up that lead. But here and through, they were both of the teams were able to match the score lines. And in the end, when it was looking like a clear end victory where they got the Rayquaza, it came so close that it was just a 50-pointer difference of victory.
Omen tried hard. He was scoring at any Eos energy that he could even rake up from anywhere. Whether he could find a KO, whether he could find some free Eos energy out in the open, he tried his best. Did not work. Quickly, we will take a look at the replay. It's going to be super crucial. I mean, I don't know. It was a great try coming in. There was just 50 seconds on the clock, and then during that 50 seconds, I was just paying attention to what was happening in the bottom lane. And that's when Blizzard cheekily moved up directly to their base and scored that 100. Otherwise, it was done. 406. Omen played so smart over there, making these small wrong decisions, right? And I'm just taking a look. You will also see in this replay, Hoopa, who was right at the base, decides to jump, push the bottom lane where his teammates were fighting from God's Reign end. That was divine. And that's when Blizzard, who was hiding in the tall grasses, as soon as he sees a player jumping, he understands it's all the players at the bottom lane, nobody to be worried about, and he gets that big 100 scored.
Well, the hundreds, the series came up, but a complete destruction on the Rayquaza pit where Clefable was actually able to secure it for the team. So the difference came in, and with that, it's an end to the very first match. 3 games, 3 endless games till the very last second, where it was a start for God's Reign at 1-0, and after that 2 matches back to back, and Revenant have at last taken their revenge.
They have. I mean, this game was a roller coaster, literal roller coaster. It had a lot of loops. It had a lot of upside downs that we ended up seeing, especially in the last 10, 15, 20 seconds. Man, oh man, I was not ready for this. But let's quickly talk to Crowley itself of how he's feeling right now, and also congratulate them. Congratulations, Crowley. It has been a long due wait. You have been going a little bit back and forth in the victories, but this, what a sweep back, Crowley. How is it feeling? I want to understand. How was this last game?
I mean, we are not celebrating because it's a long road ahead to qualify.
Yes.
Technically, we and Gods, we are considered as bad teams right now. So one bad team has to win versus the other, I guess. So yeah, we are excited to play more games. Some random stuff is going on in the game, so we are fixing, I guess, slowly. Let's see what happens in the next games.
Yeah. Well, again, the battle between Revenant and God's Reign is always considered a healthy one, and we have seen how much they have fought throughout the stages of Pokémon UNITE Asia Champions League. But again, now that you have taken a revenge against them and God's Reign is no more, what is your strategy? Because again, you have one more match to play today.
I mean, every team is different. Like, we don't think of it as revenge or something. Like, very chill between us, Gods, and especially every other team in the scene.
Correct.
So, if we have to qualify, we have to take it step by step. And yeah, good to finally beat God's Reign after, having a lead. Usually we throw at Zap, so something changed this week.
Yeah, I agree with you, Crowley. I mean, we have talked about it on the desk as well. Revenant, they've had a love and hate story with the Rayquaza. Every time the legendary Pokemon is there.
Oh, it's only a hate story, bro. There's no love. It's only a hate story. There's no love.
True, man. I mean, but today it has been kind of close to a love story. You worked out, especially in the last 2 games. I really liked it. So, message for the fans, because right now it looks that Revenant, irrespective of what's going on, you're looking very well composed. So, a message for the fans and what more we can expect.
I mean, I hope luck is on our side today, so we can go on to face SA12 hopefully for the final match to qualify. And I guess for for the fans. Keep supporting us. We need all the luck we can, especially after the last 2 minutes.
I agree. Get that hate story converted to the love fans. But thank you, Crowley, for joining us. It's finally happy to see you guys smiling because I know how it feels of how it has been ended. But congratulations. Looking forward to you getting to the battle arena in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. All the best. See you in the next match again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. See, I mean, they also agree. But at the end of the day, one more thing that I want to tell the audience is it's always friends. I mean, in the game, it is a fight. They have to give it their all. It'll go back and forth. You cannot be sure that it is our game. We are very strong. They are very strong. You cannot ever judge an opponent. But at the end of the day, they're all friends. Treat everybody equally. And they go ahead against. Find a way to win it. And I hope Revenant, especially as you even said, right? They have one more match right now. Every team is different. Crowley said it right. I hope they're ready for it because it is tough for them. It was not an easy victory.
It was definitely not an easy victory where God's Reign actually, had a question on them after they got the first game. But now it's time that we take a break. Let's take a pause before we see the next match of the day. We'll be right back.
Wow, what a match. I mean, we did need a breather, Mridul, after that. Because you saw, it was an intense one. Crowley, a little smile, but as you said, he and his entire team are not still celebrating because they have a long way ahead. And he rightly said, right? He knows what his objective is in this Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League is to meet SA12 and take them out and then qualify to the LAN in the Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. That's the only objective that they have in their minds, because if that happens, they can relax for some time, but again, they don't have a lot of weeks. This week will decide if Revenant continue their journey or not. If they don't, they'll be going on the other end. But quickly, talking about the players here right now. Revenant, we talked about them, right? Mridul, Truerippers, on to you.
Well, Truerippers lineup is going to be same. Daksh, Devesh, Kyo, Safe and Ego. Now, if we take a look over to Revenant, they already have a momentum that they have built up. Strong amount of confidence because they have shown a comeback against God's Reign. But again, they still have to fight against Truerippers. Truerippers, well, this is also going to be real important for them. Because even if they lose this one, they are going to go back to the base. Yes, they are not going to be there. Well, let's see which of the teams have their fates decided to be in the top 3 of the second stage.
Mridul.
Yes, Marcos and SCTL are already waiting.
Yeah, they're waiting. If I ask you right now, what is your inner gut feeling? Not like who you're supporting, but where do you think we are ending up? Do you think Truerippers are going to qualify, or Revenant of what they showed, the composure? Do you think they have the chance to get back?
For me, it is going to be Truerippers. You know, they are going to show a tough battle to Revenant for sure, because Revenant, again, today they have shown the caliber that they have. You know, against each of the teams. But again, the amount of performance that Truerippers have shown, 2 of the matches they have won, and the day 3. This is where I actually have a gut feeling. They have already won a match against Revenant, and they know how to play against them.
Man, with stats aligned, I really like it, Mridul, how you brought it into play. But on the other end, I feel like Revenant, they are in the hunger of taking all the opponents which took them down in the league stage. That's how they're functioning. You saw after having a domination coming in from God's Reign in the first game of match 1 to sweep back in, very clean and also hitting the right shots, right? But quickly talking about the trivia, the most fun part that I really love, it's Devesh, to start off, loves to watch sitcoms during free time and loves to explore new cuisines across the world. And again, you see, right, we were just talking about this, like many of the players, I mean, everybody loves food. Food is a language of love also, is something that I would love to talk about, and I'm pretty sure Devesh is eagerly waiting for one thing, that is, Mridul, to explore the cuisine down in Malaysia while they go down for the battle arena.
Well, the Asian food is always amazing when you actually talk about as a cuisine, the flavors, everything, and my mouth becomes juicy whenever I talk about. And look at that, I already, started while speaking.
I think it's time to move ahead.
Yeah, it is time to move ahead and actually talk on a different level from food at least. Yes, we have Bacha, loves watching anime and loves traveling. So a traveler here we have. And a trainer always needs to love traveling across the world. You always have to go get your Pokemon trained and get them performing. Yes, with the anime, but again we saw a Gengar there. Okay, so
the Gengar
the Gengar might have disappeared. Yeah, the Gengar on top of me too. Yeah, here it is. And when I actually talk about Gengar, that is where I need to discuss that even if it is one of his favorite Pokemons or favorite choices, it is still not, yet to be seen in the meta. We saw Gengar in the first 1 or 3 weeks, where Gengar was.
Okay.
But yeah, I did see one of Gengars there. But if I actually talk about Gengar getting used now after the patch updates, it seems difficult. But on your side, you have a Hoopa. Every single time, Hoopa is there, man.
I need to support my teammates, right? My allies who are trying to get that victory. Godsrin did pick it up, did not work out. But before we started matchup, I do want to congratulate Godsrain as well for the entire journey that they've had. It was not the expected ones for them, but again, they know what they have to improve on and get better, as they will try to represent Indian region in next other tournaments. So congratulations, but again, I know, like every other fan out there, like all the Godsrin looking forward to them qualifying. Not this one. They will be looking forward to the next one. So we'll jump right into the positive end right now. That is Revenant, who have qualified, as we'll be looking out to their second game. But the first game for today, that is going to be Truerippers playing their match in overall stage 2 is the second one. What are the bans? I think Revenant will look forward to the same and only Urshifu ban coming in, but Truerippers, I want to understand their thoughts. Maybe a Hoopa or Cliffable ban.
A Hooper ban is what I think for sure, but an Urshifu ban for sure might be there from either of the sides. Yes, it is going to be an Urshifu ban coming in from the side of Truerippers and a Dodrio one. Dodrio always adds a lot when you are talking about points and getting the scoreline going, and a Dodrio ban is what they would want for sure. And Rowley actually has a Delphox for themselves.
I think the value he found with Delphox, he wants to do it again. But as you rightly said, I mean, having Dodrio to be eliminated early on is a very good choice. Because just going back to the previous game, Dodrio reached the score for Godsrain for 402. If the situation happened that Revenant's Blizzard did not go for a score of 100, Revenant wouldn't have qualified. It would have been Revenant saying goodbye to us here in the Asia Champions League. And then things could have been a different story. But we'll talk about the next choices coming through. You talked about the Delphox. Ego, he's going into the Scyther. Devesh and Daksh picking up a Mew and a Gardevoir respectively. And late choices coming in on these supporters is surprising. Cliffable also not being picked early. Hoopa also not being picked early. Something surprising I'm seeing, right? From both the ends, and I'm pretty sure you also. But Blizzard, he also, like just Crowley, how well he functioned on Delphox. Blizzard has also jumped in back on none other than Machamp.
And definitely Lucifer, I also have to talk about that supporters not being their first choices of, you know, getting the picks for themselves.
What?
Oh,
a Wigglytuff?
Okay.
That is something that I never thought about. Has experience share as well as an item. The focus band and buddy barrier is interesting coming in.
Yeah.
Truerippers. I mean, also, I think Wigglytuff, this is the first time, Mridul, that we are seeing in the draft.
For sure. And, you know, a Wigglytuff getting, chosen by the side of Daksh. Okay, at last, it is a choice that they have made. Hoopa for sure is there. A Gardevoir is there with Revenant. Would not want to miss on that because the amount of destruction the Gardevoir and the Delphox combo was, you know, having in the second match that they played against Godsrain. It is going to be picked up, but a Machamp always going in with some bashing punches. We begin with the very first game of the second match. Let's see who picks up the pace and actually is able to end it first.
I'm interested to see Wigglytuff's rollout coming through. Already using it a little bit, but the rebounds is what I'm looking forward to when it crashes against the wall, and also when Wigglytuff connects the rollout on the opponents. For now, it's again early start, slow paced game. Players will try to annoy, 0-0 score, but is anybody going to overextend for a first goal coming through? Swifty gets beaten up, so he immediately backs off, goes for a small nap, not the power nap with the Unite. He will get healed up in his goal zone, but in the meantime, the first goal does get put down from none other than the Slowbro, that is Zishol from Revenant.
Well, the first of the, you know, points coming in for Revenant this time. Revenant actually has a good amount of streak that goes on, and the pace that they've picked from the previous games, and that is how the strategies would land perfect for them. But if I talk about the side of Slowbro, Zishol, always pinching the opponents at the right moment is what a Slowbro requires. You know, getting them slowed up, getting them patched up. Oh, the Snorlax goes out. Well, that's a bad one for the side of Revenant.
Might be, but the main thing that I'm looking forward to is denying all the wild Pokemons that spawned. So Revenant played really well. They did not want to give them an advantage. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, my bad. I got a little bit mixed up seeing Blizzard sneaking out of the goal zone from Truerippers. And so yes, Revenant denied the wild Pokemon on the top lane, so no early level ups or level advantages coming in, but Kyo is still level 6. Something to watch out for, because nobody from Revenant is level 6, and it is the Glaceon, the ranged attacker, who's looking better. And we have seen the Icy Wind or the Icy Spear or maybe a Freeze Dry coming through. If it hits right, it'll slow you down, drain a lot of your health, and then without the next second you will be KO'd. But in the meantime, it's actually a mid lane chaotic fight that is happening. It's just going back and forth.
The swishy sneak coming in from the side of Sizer, and actually it's now 39 to 30, but more 9 points added, and Revenant will once again pick that lead. Oh, Ego was just about to be, given a KO, but okay, goes back. Falls back at the right moment, a KO comes in. Safe? At last, not Ego, and it's safe actually doing that, and look at the wonders coming up. It's a KO streak, and that too on a matchup. OMG, 22 more points added, 52 it is for Truerippers, and they once again show what amount of strategies that they can come forward with, because again, they have already shown a 2-0 against them when it was about the 3rd week. And now, picking up the same amount of strategies, let's see how they battle them out, because this time, it is about an elimination that they would focus.
Regis have spawned both on the top and the bottom. 6 minutes 48 seconds to go. Daksh, I think he has the rollout, will time, but before that uses Sync, trying to put the Pokemons in sleep. Kirilla is in a very tough spot. A big Solar Beam does a lot of damage. Scyther swoops in, but a Steel Blizzard does not let Truerippers get that advantage, with the Scyther chiming in, gets a 2 KO streak, takes down both the ranged attackers, but Slowbro as well as the Snorlax will hold it out, does not let any goals get scored in, and still Truerippers might have the initial advantage, but a brilliant telekinesis to hold off the Mew, and it looks like initial level advantage Truerippers might have had it, but not for long. But in the meantime, using the portal, the hyperspace hole, players have teleported to the top lane to get that Regieleki.
And Regis are important. We have seen the importance. It might be more points getting added by the side of Gardevoir, but look at that. The telepathy must be there, but look at Machop adding more 30, and Revenant picks up the lead this time. It's always about, getting sneaky from these ambushes and actually scoring for the team, because again, when all of the Pokemons are busy, you go, you sneak out and actually secure points for your team, and that is how you are valuable, getting the value added, and definitely that results a lot better for the team. This time, Ego and safe. The Regieleki is still untouched right now, as they're busy getting some more air synergy and the berries for themselves to be fully HP'd up.
Hold it all out, but I want to see what's happening in the top lane. Do Revenant get it all out? Ego swoops in, trying to snatch it away. My bad, I'm still stuck on Kyle from God's Rain, but we'll see if it'll work out. But for now, Regieleki was drained to half of its health. It did not work out. Regieleki will see a reset very soon, but Regieleki is also causing problems from Truerippers' end. Reset happens, Zishal is looking super low. They need to get back to their goal zones, get themselves healed up. Quickly looking into the levels as well. It's only Scyther who's on a level better on Truerippers' end, that is Ego, but everybody else almost on Revenant's end is double digits.
At last, we see a 95 coming in from the side of Revenant, and definitely when it's about the double digits coming in for the side of Revenant, it results good. Okay, the attacks still go on, and it's the amount of damage that Revenant Blizzard would be wanting to deal. Oh, the Unite comes in. No, there's no going back, but ooh, gets barely surviving. Revenant gets the Regieleki for them. Now Hoopa is available for safe, but again,
oh my god,
the Unite. Oh, a double Unite comes in. 2 players go bonkers right now, and the trainers would be able to add a lot for themselves. Okay, Wigglytuff trying to add for the team, but no, denied, and a KO streak by Slowbro. And this is where, once again, as I talked about, sneakily entering into the ambush.
That was a chaotic one. Hoopa first, then the fireworks came through. A singularity was also seen. I'm not too sure if the Glaceon got to use the Unite or not, but nonetheless, We saw even a green illusion drive coming in from Ego on Scyther. So 3 to 4 unites were popped, and Truerippers actually did not find value. One unite, that was the singularity, was enough to buy them time, and the top goal zone not even destroyed. And look at that, fireworks out again. This has got to hurt. I mean, we have seen very few players play Delphox so efficiently to get their unites back online one after another, and Crowley is one such menacing player.
You know, maintaining the menace and actually this time the destruction. A frontal battle goes on the bottom lane. Look at that. Oh, yes. We are going to see the points getting added, and Truerippers, this might be the time. Glaceon picks up a 3 KO streak and now adds up for 50. Just 13 points away from actually equalizing the score of Revenant.
They're putting it, trying to do it all. Swifty denying top. Back and forth he's fighting with players, but right now using the portal, one player does teleport, that is the Hoopa. So on the other end, even the Scyther goes back to the base by using the recall by itself, nothing else. In the meantime, it's in the next 5 seconds, we're going to see a Reggie. Oh, less than 5 seconds, but in the meantime, it's just 8 seconds to go for none other than Rayquaza, and it looks like Truerippers understand there might be very little chance to get this Regirock for themselves. One last hit! They missed it, but Kyo is still level 14, and there is nobody on Revenant's end who's closer to level 14. Crowley, he still has at least 3/4 of the way to go to level 14, so taking this Rayquaza is going to be super crucial. Revenant still might be on the lead, but the lead is of only 13 points. What was that? Was it a solar beam? It took so much health from Bacha. I don't even have the right idea. But in the meantime, it's only Ego who's making his way to the center. Everybody else fighting in the bottom lane, but the Mew steals it. Revenant will not be happy.
Truerippers, Mew stealing it for the team. And now goals coming back, but still they're behind Revenant. Oh, as I was able to, complete my statement, is just before that goal streak coming in from the side of Truerippers. Oh, wait for it. Let him stop. 6-1-8 coming in for Truerippers right now. And the streak does not stop. It is a double that they've formed. And there's still a chance that Revenant might be able to secure it around 400 or 500 points. But then the lead is too strong to be actually covered up.
Yeah, now there is no chance at all.
And now there is no chance that Truerippers might be making a comeback. Again, look at Revenant.
Revenant will not make a comeback.
Yeah. And
this is going to be a tough one.
For sure. Truerippers for sure have actually got the game won.
I think it's right to say Revenant do have a love-hate story when it comes, but making use of the next 20 seconds, they're giving it their all, trying to fight it out, but the scoreline is too much of a difference. Even if they score hundreds here, right? Push to 200, the max score that they'll be getting is 500, but they're still stuck at 432. Unite from the Glaceon is out. Hoopa with the Unite, and there is no way. Swifty goes in for a power nap, the Unite that he uses, but there is no way he can get a chance to score with that Unite, and it's done. Truerippers close in one game at least in the second match to start things off. Revenant, again, not off to a great start. Yeah. But this time at least, it was a fighting start that Revenant had previously compared to that God's Reign game, where they were just blown out of the waters. So I think Revenant still do stand a chance, but kudos to one main player that I would talk about, not the Glaceon that you're thinking. It's going to be safe on Hoopa. Look at that 15 insane assists coming in, and then there is, yes, obviously the player of the game, that's going to be Kyo on Glaceon. 10 assists, but also has 9 knockouts of his own, a total of 19 knockouts that he's been a part of, along with 146 goals. So good play coming in from Kyo, and Kyo was the only one Pokemon from Truerippers end who was always one level above from the highest level player from Revenant's end, which was Crowley. So if Kyo is 14, Crowley is 13. So I think that small level advantage is what Truerippers made use of.
Well, a 7-1-6 against a 439 of Revenant. Oh yes, it is a hate story, as Crowley has mentioned in the interview too, that in the end it was a slight bit of steal and not by much of damage that could have been provided, or either they were KO'd. A slight miss of like 1 or 2 seconds, and here or then they missed out on the Rayquaza. Once again, great work from the side of Truerippers, and yeah, the strategy works out. A Wigglytuff came in And as you were shocked, even I was shocked, and I stopped as you stopped me. A Wigglytuff coming in, okay, it played out well for them. Scyther, Hoopa, great combo formed up. Once again, Glaceon worked itself out. But let's see if Revenant goes in for the same combo of Delphox or Gardevoir in the second game or not, because again, now that Truerippers have a lead, it's just only one single game that they have to win. Whereas Revenant, once again, have to show a comeback, or either they're going south and back to the region.
Unfortunately, I mean, yes, Wigglytuff was there, but unfortunately, one move that I did not get to see was rollout. He had switched it to Sing, but Sing was very valuable. You saw Gardevoir was caught in that Sing at almost all times, because of which Truerippers were able to immediately jump on Gardevoir, the one who was doing the damage. Crowley was always smart, always able to run away from that, but not for long. Eventually, he was always fighting an unwinnable battle, which was like a 3v1 situation, a 3v4 situation, and they were jumping on top of him. But until the 8-minute mark here, Mridul, evenly matched up battle between both these teams.
Yeah. And I do have a statement for that. Sykes getting psyched out, right? You know, with the Sing ability, it just came in, and how beautifully he was trapped in that. So definitely a Syke getting psyched out, that is what I would want in the future to happen with me. But definitely this time it is going to be Asia Champions League day number 6, match 2, where now in the game number 1, Truerippers have already picked up a lead. They only have to secure one game to actually be able to qualify and play the next game against SATUL. Marcos is already there in the second stage finals on the day number 7. Well, today we decide one more team who's going to bid adieu to us. Godsrain have already left. In the replay, we see that Revenant actually were able to secure a lead throughout the game. It was a great game from their side, but Rayquaza, the hate story remains true and accepted.
They started it early, but there were players from Truerippers who waited in the tall grasses, especially the Mew itself. Once with the solar beam affected Badshah on Gardevoir, drained like Badshah to like 10% of the health, and after that directly to Rayquaza, understanding Rayquaza is super low, got that last hit on Rayquaza. And Rayquaza's shield and an advantage is what they take it away. Right now, it's a best of 3, guys. Revenant still stand a chance. And Revenant are known to be a team which have that caliber. We were just talking about that. We spoke to them. Somehow they brought it back. There have been things going back and forth for Revenant. It has not been the greatest of starts or greatest of games. But Truerippers actually in Asia Champions League, one of the teams who never got to play a chance in LAN, in the India Open, started off phenomenally. Their play was bombastic. They were able to clean sweep teams in a pretty dominating fashion. But after that loss against Marcos, right? Marcos also proved a point, but they're not the only ones. Marcos also here to steal the show. So Truerippers, they also might have a revenge against Marcos very soon. So they're trying to climb up. And Marcos, Truerippers right now do have 1 point lead in the second matchup. Can they close it out is something I'm not too sure about. Why I would say this, Mridul, is because we just saw Revenant get back into a game, as I said, through the match as well, against a dominating team. Godsrain, they just swooped them. They did not give them a chance, but to reset themselves for the second game, I think, Mridul, there is still a chance. Let's jump to the draft pick and see what changes do happen here.
And with that, we switch over to the ban phase of the second round. Revenant going against Truerippers.
I want to ask you, what changes do Revenant need to make? Their previous composition was very similar to the match they won against Godsrain. Do you think they need to change it now?
Yeah, this is what a question I had when I was able to see the stats. That the duo worked out, but again they need to switch out on their supporters or the defenders or the other roles they are going out for. Just as like it was a sneaky change of having, from both the sides we have an Urshifu ban, so at last they're sticking on it. It might be there that Truerippers goes in for a Dodrio or Revenant, because Dodrio for sure is going to be there if it's not banned.
I don't know, especially with the recent changes and all coming through where Pokemons have been hefty. We have seen sometimes Dodrio being left out, but okay, Blizzard says no.
Why to leave it, man? Why to leave it?
You have a chance to cheekily score goals. But
yeah,
I mean, again, from my end perspective, that happened from God's Reign as well. They tried to go for a cheeky score, but they were unable to deny Revenant from winning it. Revenant still won that game. So let's see if this Dodrio will work out or not.
Well, again, the Dodrio might get picked up, but if it gets worked out, we are not so sure about it. Devesh gets Mew, KO gets a Delphox, and this time it might be a Mew and a Delphox combo. Okay, so Saif for sure. Hoopa will not be left out. Crowley gets a Glaceon for the team. Bacha going in for a Snorlax. Snorlax definitely for a choice of defender is the best safe choice you can have as a defense.
I think Snorlax is more than a defense, is like the initiator of fights. He, with a block, pushes players either to their flux zone or pushes them back so that his teammates survives. And with Zishal, yeah, this is a change I was not expecting. He was playing a slow bro from match number 1, match number 2, game 1, and in game 2 he changes to an Aegis Slash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Godzilla Kale strategy, I see.
Yeah, there is a switch up. Let's hope this works. Revenant, again, in their composition they have best of all categories, whereas Truerippers, they don't have a speedster. They don't need
everything to lose. Everything to lose for Revenant right now, right?
Yeah.
There's some amount of percentage that Truerippers might be able to get the next game. But if Revenant lose this one, there is no chance left for them. So try every single amount of strategy and every single bit of your brain cell to put into this game and get this strategize. Well, let's see if it goes slow or fast. The story needs to be written in this very game. Truerippers against Revenant Esports. The match begins. Truerippers are already at a lead, and the streak of evolution goes on.
90 to 80% of the game, right, in terms of scoring, will incline if the Dodrio plays well. But there is that 10% chance that somebody plays even a better game, not even paying regards to the Dodrio. So let's see how this game unfolds. Right now it looks like Saif is stuck. Previously he did pick up a 2 KO streak, but this time looks like he's going to be the first one of many for Revenant to start off their KO streaks. But it looks like Truerippers are like, no, we have bottom lane. If you take top lane, we're going to destroy one of your teammates in the bottom lane.
Oh, for sure. Why to leave the chance? 20 points already getting added for the side of Truerippers, and that is where the difference will be made. For sure, the lineups have not changed for them, but Revenant, this time they have to put a lot of difference by their side. Okay, the very first stretch of this game, it goes slow for the side of Revenant, but no, here comes the destruction as I talk about that. Saif got a lot of damage. Swifty will be getting a fallback situation created whenever it's needed. Okay, a loophole getting created, and okay, the players who are coming to score, beware of that.
Swifty is just right now annoying because his teammate, what he's done, he's gone back to the mid lanes to level up, get those orange and blue buffs if possible, and he got an orange buff for himself, trying to fight it out, and looks like they might actually find someone to eliminate. But Saif, oh, he had used his portal, will full heal himself and back off. But in the meantime, it's Devesh who's here, who's already on level 6. Swifty had nowhere to run. In a chance to help his teammate to survive, he had to sacrifice his own Pokemon. But right now, they wanted to go for a mid lane fight. It looks like Badja will be put down. Brilliant play coming in of how well the portals have been used. The hyperspace hole coming in, finding superb value for Truerippers.
And now the evolutions taking place.
There you go again.
The very first team to actually get those evolutions would always be at a point of difference, and Truerippers, wait for them. You're getting a lead. Okay, we are already getting sorted out. Delphox getting a KO on the Snorlax, and as soon as the defense breaks in, there is no one to stop Truerippers. Look at how much damage Swifty has got. Okay, you try for it. Swifty, you're going to deal the damage. Aegis Slash also goes down, and Truerippers pick up the pace. Bottom lane or top lane, look at Sizer. Solo having a dual battle against Dodrio in the top lane.
The only intention of Scyther on the top lane is just to deny something cheeky happening. Wait it out. But Crowley, he uses the Unite, finds one KO, helps Blizzard to get 24-24 each, dunked. Wait, only 24 is what Blizzard does, and I think Crowley will not move back to the bottom lane. Along with Blizzard, they're going to be taking on Regielki. In the meantime, Truerippers are taking players one after another from Revenants and get the Regi steal completely in their favor. And one or two might Revenant have, but Revenant also get themselves an ally. A quick portal again pops off, making use of that. People will teleport from the bottom lane to the top lane to deny that ally Pokemon from sitting to the goal zone. Let's wait and watch. Dodrio is still in the top lane. Blizzard gets caught in the Unite of none other than Scyther. Ego just slicing and dicing with his wing beat coming through. And there's nobody to do anything. And Regielki does not find its home.
Even if Revenant are able to secure the first of the points to get a lead against Truerippers again come back and actually are able to secure the same amount of points or more, 4 or 5 against them. So it's Truerippers who are maintaining lead for a longer period of time. Once again, the damage goes on to Revenant, and the level that they have picked up already reaching out to double digits from Scyther and Delphox, and now picking up the Unite moves. You cannot stop them. The 5 minutes are over now. The goalposts in the top lane are not much visible from the side of Truerippers, that is for sure. But the bottom lane is where Truerippers are going real strong. At least fight from one side, because again, going from one side would always help. And Truerippers is actually able to do that.
In terms of control, right, the map, it is Truerippers who are looking better. Blizzard this time runs away. He previously wanted to take a 1v1 against Devesh, which he knew he would win.
Correct.
And then surprise with Skyo with the Delphox. He swoops in, burns him up.
Yeah.
Right now, there is going to be less than 15 seconds on both the top and the bottom lane for the Regis to spawn. And I think Revenant are still going to be stuck onto the top lane to get the Regielki. But in the meantime, look at what's happening. Dux from the back ends. He knew somebody will sneak up to get that score dunked, and he defends. In the meantime, a 40 will be scored, but none other than Ego, and there is nobody to stop it. Bottom lane Regi fight has started again. Let's see if this time Truerippers will be able to convert. No, wait, this time Revenant are able to convert, and yes, they do convert it. But in the meantime, again the Unite from the Scyther coming through. Aegis Slash tried, but does not work because it's just Ego better on that Scyther. Aegis Slash finally does actually get the KO, but will be exchanged. So the bottom lane fight was in vain.
With that, 148 for Truerippers. The last 4 minutes, and the feints or the knockouts might go in vain, but on the other side, the plus point is that we have from the side of Truerippers that they're able to still maintain that lead. Well, on the side of top lane, Regi is going to be a real, of real importance right now for the side of Truerippers, but Revenant know of how much advantage it can be for them. Aegis Slash gets it solo, and now one more ally added. Truerippers, still what they're focusing on is the Rayquaza and the history that Revenant has. Oh, here you go, the Unite will come in no time, but before that, it's going to be Slowbro adding more 40 points for the team.
Badshah risks his life. He wanted to get a couple of goals dunked. He tried, but only like 2-3, does not matter. Aegis Slash trying to fight back again, but Zshal is super low. Whereas on the other end, Devesh, he's level 12. He's playing in his own flux, and Safe is also here to help him out. Devesh is super low. Brilliant play on the Sacred Squad. Finds a 2 KO streak. Now it's only Safe alone, but Kyo and his teammate Daksh swoop in. They are scoring goals. The 3 KO streak follows up, but not for long. Cliffable also gets taken down. Swifty doesn't find a lot, but one thing the Truerippers will be happy is all the golden Eos energy that is lying in the bottom lane. So whenever they want to turn the tides, or if they're looking like we have less Eos energy, they know where they'll be able to quickly grab and go ahead and dunk goals. Revenant looking vulnerable. They've lost 2 goal zones here with them.
Yeah, Revenant are real vulnerable on both the sides. The close about goalposts are already over. The portals will get formed up. Somehow Revenant would still be able to secure the points because of the Dodrio that they have. But once again, if you talk about Truerippers getting 188 points, and now Revenant focusing on one more Regi, the speciality comes over to them, but still they're lacking something. They're lacking on the consistent amount of points that they might get. Okay, so the final stretch and the Lord Rayquaza has appeared in the legendary pit.
The main
Go for
problem here
Let's see who
is
gets
going to
it.
be the
Yeah.
Scyther, who's at level 14 on Truerippers end. So at any cost, Revenant need to stay away from him. And if they get a chance, KO the Scyther first, and then they jump on Rayquaza. A super crucial battle, a do or die situation here. A big solar beam, Crowley is super low, and look at what happens. Scyther was hiding, he immediately swoops in, finds one. Crowley is out, but Blizzard is just grabbing all the AS energy that is left, trying to get goals dunked, create that lead. We'll get it, but in the meantime, I'm pretty sure Truerippers have started the battle on Rayquaza. Yes, it has. Badshah has the Unite. It's all about the time. He uses the Unite as the firework gets popped from Kyo. They're trying to eliminate him, and yes,
Perfect
they do find a KO on him. And now they've lost another one. Crowley might be back into the game, but Unite has been used. A portal comes through, because of which the players who are low from Truerippers end will be full healing and getting back to the legendary pit. Solar beam from Divesh is insane, but Dodrio, he swoops in, finds the KO on Scyther. That was the crucial one. Aegis Slash now trying to do damage. Players are looking super low. Kyo might go down. They find the KO'd. Revenant getting back. Daksha is still there. Can they stop Daksha as well? But in the meantime, Divesh on the Mew finds Dodrio. Oh no, safe with his Unite, trying to make sure that he is not going to be KO'd, but his Unite goes out, and now it's only Divesh. Quickly, Revenant need to jump on Rayquaza, but it's only 3 players surviving. They're trying to drain the health. Scyther has respawned. This is going to be hectic, and they have only 19 seconds. Revenant just need to hold it off. Just hold it off. They're actually going in for a score, and Scyther has no time. Aegis Slash has gone back to his base to guard it, and what a play coming in from Revenant. Oh, they will be happy. I am happy to see that without the Rayquaza is how Revenant win and close the second game.
Well, a surrender to them for sure. They were not able to get that Rayquaza, but as I said,
doesn't matter.
Dodrio doesn't matter. Dodrio was the game changer, and at last, for sure, deserves that MVP position. Why I say so? Because when in the end the team were busy fighting at the legendary pit, Dodrio was busy adding the points for the team. And look at the difference it has made against 3 of its teammates also. 30 for Zishol, 0 for Crowley. Badshah has only 38, AS energy grabbled up. But 192 scored in the goal post, and then having 4 assists, 2 knockouts also for the team. Zishol, definitely great work done with the AG Slash. A great pick, and this is where, a change in pick might result good, because you have some or the other way a lot of experience on that Pokemon as a trainer. Move on to the side of Truerippers. Well performed. Once again, nothing was wrong, but all was wrong in the last 3 minutes. They were not able to handle what aggression Revenant brought with themselves in this second game.
Unfortunate of how this unfolded for Truerippers, because they would have closed it out. Now they've given Revenant a chance to get back into the game, and from this best of 3, you're going to be sliding right into a best of 1. Game 3 is going to start, but here's where I want to break it down, is the fight. In the early 0 to 8 minute mark, there is nothing that you have to worry about. The fight was going back and forth, levels were okay, but at point of the final stretch, I said it is the Scyther that they need to be worried about. And the Scyther rightly finds the first KO on Crowley. After that, what happens is Blizzard becomes a distraction. Players started spreading around, and then you saw the Snorlax jumping in. Now that Snorlax jump coming through with the Unite also being used when the fireworks were used from, I think, Kyo. As soon as he used that, he bought time. And once the time was bought, understanding Crowley will respawn at any moment, Aegis Slash swooped in. Along with Aegis Slash jumping with the Sacred Sword, it was mainly the Dodrio from the bottom lane, pushed at the right edge of the mid lane to take down Scyther. If Scyther was not KO'd there from Truerippers, if Ego was not taken down, Revenant wouldn't have a chance. Truerippers would have closed it. What a play. You will see that again. Those 2 crucial picks. One with Sacred Sword who pushed in and took out, I think, the Delphox. And on the other end, the Scyther going down. These 2 crucial picks were the reason they won it all out. Otherwise, Revenant might have had a tough decision. And I think Revenant, this is how they should play. When they know that they have a love and hate story with the Legendary Pit, as they call it as Zap, And for all the people who are wondering why Zap, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows, and everybody who's new will be wondering what Zap is. Zapdos is the first one when it was played in the remote stadium. So it is the Thea Sky ruins where you will see only the Rayquaza. But what a battle! This is a battle to remember.
Indeed. Where the Chaos Streaks were coming in, and it was Truerippers throughout the game performing against Revenant. But oh, here is where the loss. Lost the battle, a single battle of a Chaos Streak coming in from Aegislash, and within these 10 seconds, the things changed. Pokemon sent back to the base, and actually Aegislash was able to add a lot for the team in these 15 seconds. After that, it was Truerippers still trying to work out for themselves. Not much of a lead was found out by Revenant. But once more, we see that even in the last of the seconds against Rayquaza, Truerippers were not allowed to go back to it.
And kudos to Revenant understanding that there are players, if they jump to Rayquaza rather than taking down the players who are there from Truerippers, they would have lost Rayquaza or they would have lost the battle. And also understanding how much time it was. They were about to start the Rayquaza battle when there was like 20-25 seconds left. But as soon as they understood also, the Scyther who was taken on very early, Ego, has respawned. So he'll be jumping right to the legendary pit. So if we start now, we might even lose the advantage that we have, and also the advantage of Blizzard who has scored right on the Dodrio. So all they went was directly watching the time to the goal zones which were present on Truerippers and got a lot more goal zones scored, around 180, 190, around 200 itself close to is what they scored, and that's the reason Revenant got themselves back into the game. They're not on the driver's seat here, Mridul, but they've rightly told Truerippers that you cannot judge your opponents so quickly, and also just because you met them in the league stage, it doesn't make that you caught a clean sweep there, it works out here, because Revenant just after having a clean sweep against God's Reign in the previous I would say day 5 as you mentioned, today they proved it different.
Well, somehow I still had that prediction in my mind that Revenant for sure has picked up that pace, that momentum, and they also have studied from their mistakes. They also have learnt from the mistakes that they might have committed in the earlier stages, where they did not have anything to lose. It was just that they were going to seed it. Right now they have everything to lose. Once again, now they're trying to make a comeback, and in the very last game of the second match, it gets decided who gets to move forward. Once again, now the score lines have been equalized. It looks that the history gets repeated. But okay, wait for it. Truerippers know what they need to do, because Revenant, even if they are making a comeback, Truerippers still might have something that would actually, make them lose. For sure, we are waiting for the third game to arrive. Lucifer, this time I would like to ask you that is there going to be a change from the side of Truerippers? Because again, Revenant brought in the Aegislash and that worked out well.
Yeah, we were, I mean, this is going to be the most probable as well as realistic question that needs to be answered from Truerippers. From my end, yes, they're going to be changing a lot of stuff. I think maybe they give up on the Hoopa. I think so. But let's jump into the draft itself. But I'm pretty sure there'll be a change. And Dodrio, I think Truerippers are going to be banning right out of the gate, whereas Revenant will still keep the Urshifu ban. And you can see how difficult it has been to deal with the Urshifu, even though it has been nerfed, right? People understood, okay, the wicked blow, the fighting moves have been nerfed. We'll go on the water moves. So they go for the water moves where they get the surging strikes and they make best use of it. And also still find ways to secure it. And again, talking about it, I want to talk about Might, who plays a brilliant, I would say, Urshifu or any other all-rounder. But right now, it looks like Truerippers and Revenant still stick on to Urshifu ban on both the ends.
Oh yes. For sure they're sticking onto their bans and
Dodrio?
Every other still point of view, but a Dodrio is not what a Truerippers would choose for sure. They are going in for a Mew this moment. On the other side, let's see what Zishol and Badsha have to unveil. Yes,
Dodrio, Blizzard.
Yeah.
No second thoughts about it. Quick lock on. Devesh is a very valuable Mew. I mean, just like we have seen Crowley, right? So Crowley and Devesh are very evenly matched up Mew players. It's very tough to deal with them, but looks like Truerippers are falling to the same comfortable pick which they had. Okay. I mean, in terms of matching up to the previous game, Rudal, it is because you saw the Scyther was level better. The fights were better from Truerippers. They were not maybe on a big lead, but they were closer. They were pushing and having oppression on Revenant. This time might be changes coming in, but looks like yes, there is a change. Crowley, he picks up a Sylveon and Kyo is like, okay, there is a chance, so I'll pick up none other than the Glaceon which Crowley was playing. Eves on both the ends.
Yeah, that is what I was going to say. Well, once again, Daksh going in for a smooth pick of Snorlax, but a Mamoswine is what I expected. Okay, Daksh, no issues. Might let me down, but on the other side, Zishol came in with an HE slash in the previous game. Yes, some changes are there for sure. A Scyther is what they'll result with. And Mr. Mime is back. Okay, a good one for sure.
What? I didn't see this coming. From miles and bounds and from oceans far, far away, I had no idea that a Mime will be picked up at such a crucial match. I'm interested right now. I mean, on one end, Truerippers, not a lot of changes. They just have Snorlax who they've picked up, compared to Revenant who don't have any defenders and also all-rounders. They're coming in with 2 supporters, 2 ranged attackers and then 1 speedster, Blizzard. So, in terms of how this inclination will be, if you keep these Pokemons on a seesaw, just on the basis of who can be KO'd early, who is going to be squishy, Truerippers has the advantage. Whereas Revenant, they're very squishy Pokemons.
The crucial problems always require the best of the situations and the best of the answers, the best of the responses. Here you go. Revenant Esports going against Truerippers for the 3rd game of this second match. Well, let's see who is going to win in this decider and be qualified as the top 3 from 2nd stage from the Indian region. A 1-1 on the overall scoreline. The evolution streak once again comes into the play. The very first 30 seconds are over and Revenant starts off with a 4-point lead.
Mime is something I'm looking forward to. And every Mime player does this. They always keep leveling up, gaining AOS energy, getting experience and scoring. At most of the time, the intention is only to keep getting scores put in. Right now, Crowley, he's low. Yes, he's being assisted with his supporter, healer, but Crowley needs to run away. Dodrio swoops in. Brilliant play. Finds a KO on the Hoopa and sends them back to the base. And in the meantime, Ego understood there is no way that he can hold it off. But nonetheless, Kyo is here on the Glaceon, evolved completely. So, level 4 on Crowley on the Sylveon, level 5 on Kyo on the Glaceon. Let's see what happens. The Scyther is down, Ego goes down. Now it's Hoopa back again, but in the meantime, players are backing off from Revenant. Icy Wind coming through from Kyo does not find a KO.
Oh, with that, the KOs would not, still occur. But on the other side, this time the Snorlax looks amazing. Yes, damage is there for sure. He is there to get that damage. But Urshifu's not being the choices for both the teams. The ban was definitely different. Okay, we come back to the game and we see that Zishol gets tagged a lot. He is there with a Mr. Mime choice. For sure, some psychic choices is what he's making right now. Devesh needs to face the repercussions. Goes back to the base and will be coming back right at the moment.
Oh no, Ego has swooped in. Blizzard will try to run away. In the meantime, Mime gets taken down from Kyo. Level 7 on him on the Glaceon. But it's okay. Revenant have 39 to a comparison where their opponents have not even scored a single goal. So Revenant are feeling comfortable at least in the start. But again, that portal to get back a player. Ego swoops in. This time he punishes because he was taken down. So top lane, finally goals will be put down.
Yes, and with that we actually see a good amount of composure once again formed up for the side of Revenant. Indeed, Truerippers had 44 points, but look at that. Revenant from the start is on a roll with the destruction. Daksh and even each and every player right now, even Devesh needs to face and actually go back when the moment is required. You need to be back. Ego adding the points for the team, but still they're lacking short of what Revenant has.
Zishol Can he survive? If he survives, it's going to be good. But he steps right into the Unite of the Glaceon. Gets taken down. And easy peasy for that Glaceon. Takes away the Registeel. Gets the attacking buff. Blizzard has no choice because his teammates are nowhere close. And the bottom lane might be lost. But in the meantime, top lane is also going. Revenant have no idea of that happening because they're concentrating on the bottom lane. Top lane goal zone has been destroyed, and what is Ego doing right now? He's level 9. He knows he single-handedly can take down the Regieleki. He's already taken around 80% of his health. Last hit coming through, an ally added for Truerippers. They get both the Regis, top and bottom. This is going to be tough right now.
Well,
and to make it worse, Blizzard goes down.
No, not at this moment, Blizzard. The Reggie gets added, already allies have been provided to Truerippers. Revenant were doing everything right, but now it's going south for them. Look at that, Truerippers going for chaos. Scyther gets the first one in this streak.
Unite again from the Glaceon, but they need to find value. And they do. They get the Regieleki pushed to the goal zone. Easy goals coming in. 30, 11, 9. Everybody's going to dunk their AOS energy. There's a 30 that can be put in. But look at what Daksh is doing. He's like, everybody, have you emptied all your bags? And now he's going to go for a big 30 with 2 seconds left. And Daksh a second later. But nonetheless, the goal zone will be destroyed. But in the meantime, look at what Blizzard is doing. He's pushed to the top lane to get goals dunked in. But he just gets overall, I think, 6 or 9.
Well, again, that was a statement that Daksh wanted to make. For sure, he went a single second late and he waited for that Reggie power to be over. For sure, the goalpost got secured and after that he scored out. Yes, that was a domination that they made on the single position. The top lane has already been destroyed by Truerippers. And now,
there's only
formations
2 goal zones
coming
left.
up. There's only 2 goal zones left. One in the lower end of the bottom lane and then the final goal post at the base. Well, destruction coming in. The Regis will go into the favor of any other team. The Regiice is what Revenant wants right now as a power. And yes, Delphox will get it for the team. But Mew, no, will steal each and every advantage the team had. 3 Pokemons will be sent back to the base. But they'll be back when the battle is required. Okay. Revenant might be present here any other moment. They're busy up for the Unite moves to actually get back into the fight. The Unite moves are what they require right now.
It's not looking that great for Revenant here. 289 to 93. They have a 200 cap. Crowley, he's walking into a danger pit. He's gone. There's no way he's going to be surviving. Uses the Unite to survive. He finds a KO on Ego. A Unite being used from Kyo as well. But Crowley is chasing him, understanding the level advantage he had. Man, oh man, that big brain play coming in from Crowley works out. And now he's working out with his 2 supporters on the bottom lane. They're trying to go in for a goal scored in. A big 50 or 40 gets scored. Another 40 was about to put. Nonetheless, Badsha scores a 40 coming in. The scoreline is very neck and neck right now. Only 100 of difference. Pentomam Dance coming in from the Mime, and they're chasing Ego, the main man who's been causing problems. Ego is super low. He will be KO'd. He uses his green illusion dive, the Unite coming through, but Crowley still finds value with his teammates playing with him. The Regieleki coming in the favor of Revenant, and Revenant have turned this tide in the game in the last 3 minutes.
Well, yes, again, we see that Revenant is actually not leaving it so slowly, but Crowley getting in 3 back-to-back picks for the team has occurred a lot of difference to the team. Once again, look at the battle. Truerippers trying to maintain their power at their goalposts, definitely trying to save the defenses. The goalposts available for Revenant on the top and the bottom lane have already been destroyed, but the lead is still of 90 points. Again, the points will be gathered up. More AOS energy is what they'll need. Unite moves of 1 single Pokemon are left, and Sylveon is what they require. Oh, the Hoopa comes in at the wrong moment. And now the Registeel might actually go in the favor of Team Truerippers when no player of Revenant is present. Yes, they have the special attacks with them. A special increase in the attack power. Well, now is the time that they move forward. More 10 seconds left. Team Truerippers have the Unite moves. They have to cause the decision from the very first second, or either we know that Revenant was the one that were able to secure them from not getting that Rayquaza. The Rayquaza has appeared. The last 2 minutes of the immense action begins right now.
Blizzard is still waiting for an opportunity to get a big 100 scored, and that might just be enough for Revenant to keep them neck and neck. Right now, the battle is about to start. Daksh with a heavy slam. He uses a block coming through Pantomime Dance, and then even the Swifty with, I think, the Unite. And they do take down the Snorlax, a crucial one. Fireworks is out. Unite from none other than the Hoopa, but the Glaceon is out because of the Mime. And now it's going to be Ego coming in from the backlines. Devesh is there. They're trying to block. But in the meantime, there is Crowley who's still surviving. They're jumping on Devesh. They find a 2 KO streak. It's only Ego. Snorlax has survived again, but Ego, Revenant. He tries to run away. But look at this, Swifty gets taken down. It's looking very bad, but in the meantime, Ego goes down. But back is going to be Daksh. It's going to be very crucial. A heavy slam can confirm, but it's going to be none other than Revenant getting Rayquaza. And they'll be running right to the goal zones where they can put it up. But they are trying to cause problems, trying to break that Rayquaza shield. Crowley is running. Blizzard's shield has already been broken down. But I think Crowley will be using Blizzard as a bait and then running in. He should be getting a chance. Oh no, his shield was also damaged. Revenant do not get a chance to score anything.
Oh, the chance might go in vain. They actually got the Rayquaza. Everything was looking perfect until the moment Truerippers would arrive right now. Okay, Delphox will be able to make a move and get that Hoopa out for 20 seconds. Only 7 seconds would be left when he'll be back into the battle. More and more players need to be back to the base. No, the Pokemons get to need knocked out. Okay, here comes the very 100 score. Now they're at the lead. Need to maintain that. No other Pokemon to score any of those points. Mr. Mime, you can do it. Zishol, you can do it. Daksh is just standing. He knows he needs to do nothing to actually able to secure. Oh, 5 points of difference. Things up and Revenant.
What a way to win, Revenant. 100 is all they needed, and Zishol kept his Rayquaza shield till the last. Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed.
7 knockouts, the perfect play. Crowley, surrender to you after that interview you gave to us. Once again, Revenant make a comeback. Truerippers were able to secure the very first game. But Revenant be like, just wait for us, man. You're going to see what we behold, what we have in us. And they have done it for the team. Crowley, Blizzard, Swifty, Bacha, Zishol. Definitely they were not able to add the points that they got from Rayquaza. So the hate story still goes on. They got the Rayquaza, but no points were added. It was just the lead that they maintained, just the consistency that they maintained throughout the game. And that is how they were able to make a comeback. Against God's Reign, it was the lead that they maintained. And then after getting points or so, they were able to get a lot of points of difference. But against Truerippers, it was difficult. Very difficult to perform against Truerippers, but they have done it. And we bid adieu to the side of Truerippers. Well played, man. What a tough match this was, and definitely a treat to our eyes. We enjoyed our popcorns, right, Lucifer?
Oh yes. I love this play coming through. For a second I thought this is gone. There is no way. Look at the graph. Have you ever seen a crazy graph like this? It is almost off the charts. You can see Truerippers, they had such a big lead from like the 2.5 minute mark, like 3 minutes to 6 minutes. They were the ones who had raked up a lot of points, and from there somehow Revenant kept their composure, got the Regis in the later stages, and then pushed their scoreline to 194 when the 8th minute mark came in. And Blizzard was ready to get 100 scored in, cheekily waiting at the bottom lane, but in the bottom lane Kyo was there on the Glaceon holding it off. But look at what happened. From 2 to 6 minutes mark is the only time that Truerippers got a chance to goal, whereas Revenant, here or there, some or the other thing, they kept goaling. Whether it is 2 goals, whether it is 10 goals, they kept scoring with the AOS energy that they had. Because of that, they knew they can still get it into the game, and 5 points is all that it took for them to win it.
Well, the Dojo did its job. Sylveon getting chosen by the side of, Crowley, the mastermind. Everything came into play, and this is the wonderfulness of this game, where we expected Truerippers to actually win this one easily. They had a huge lead. Everything was in their favor. And 90 points of lead maintained till the very last minutes. But in the last 4 minutes, they lagged in the defense. And Revenant thrived on it. 4 KOs is what Crowley got in the end. And then the amount of weight. Yeah, this was the turning point that Crowley created. Yes, 1, then 2, then a slight amount of weight where Ego faced a lot of difficulties. And then Crowley came back again. Revenant have done it for themselves. They have done the wonder for themselves, and at last, it's Revenant taking it home and qualifying at the 3rd position. Now, they'll be the top 3, and we are waiting for them to play on the day number 7. Great work done, Revenant.
Yeah, I mean, it took everything from them, like their thoughts, their strategies, the way they had to fight. I'm pretty sure the comms, right? If we get a chance to talk to Crowley again in the interview, I'm going to ask him. I want to understand how the comms was in this fight up, because this was even more chaotic and very close compared to the God's Reign match. And you saw Revenant said, like, we are looking forward to climbing up on ranks and pushing ourselves further. One step is what Revenant are far from, and getting themselves a flight ticket booked to Malaysia. It is their next matchup. That's going to be the next weekend that we are going to be seeing against SATL. I mean, SATL and Revenant. I mean, it is going to be interesting. Yeah, SATL, as you said, they fought against a tiebreaker and got themselves to the 2nd spot. So, previous time we spoke, Mike did mention, right? We want to qualify. We want to get to Malaysia. We want to become the champions. So, Marcos, they have nothing to worry about. Their tickets are there. Whether they'll be the 1st seed from India or 2nd seed from India, that will be decided next week. But the matchup between Revenant and SATL is going to be an interesting one to see next week. But as we promised, there's going to be an interview. We're going to be getting back Crowley again. Let's talk to him of how the feeling is. Crowley, welcome back. We hope to see you again. Congratulations on another win. But my main question is, how was the comms for this last game?
I mean, it was very chaotic, man. It was like flip, hold, flip, like that. And I mean, I think we would have lost the game, but our mime pulled off a clutch play with the buddy barrier of Delphox, and he used Unite, and it was his own solo call. So some young players showing up, you know.
And even you choosing on Sylveon, what was in your mind when we actually went in for that Sylveon? Because in the end we saw that you had 3 KOs, and that is where, even if they had a difference of 90 plus points, you were able to secure yourself.
To be honest, we messed up a little bit on the draft. We were supposed to pick a support over there with Aegislash, and I just picked Sylveon, and it was a miscommunication. So it was nothing planned. We just had to play and go with the flow. So we had a lot of machi market going on during the comms of the draft. So we fucked up a little bit over there. But in the end, it worked out somehow. And yes, we play another series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's pumped up, and I would say even the replay we saw, I think it was the hero move or the hero time when you were facing both the Scyther and the Glaceon together and you popped off your Unite. That changed that momentum. From there, you took a 2 KO, went to the bottom lane, gave your teammates a chance to score. I think that might have given your team the confidence. And what such, I would say, I want to ask, like, as a team, gives your confidence to get back into the game?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's Pokemon UNITE, the one with the bigger balls wins the game. So we had to try something. And, so today we were a notch bigger than TR, I guess. They were, I think, giving us too much respect when we were losing the game. So we capitalized on it, and somehow we won the Zap fight. So nice. Let's see what happens next.
The love and hate story is going to continue with your Rayquaza and Legendary Pit, but we wish you all the best. The way your journey is now is seeing the caliber that you are showing, the composure. Thank you so much for joining in, Crowley, again for this interview. Hoping to see you back on the desk next week as well, because your opponents are going to be SATL. They are also hungry to get to Malaysia. Thank you once again, Crowley. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
How calmly he told us that something went wrong in the communication of what we wanted as choices here, Mrudul. and still they kept their composure, right? They could have lost it all. And as you said, right, sometimes the individual players just plays. It works. You just need to be ready for it and you need to take it on. For any other information for you viewers after seeing such a chaotic match, link is right in front of your screens. But I want to ask you, Mrudul, how was your day? 2 matches, intense.
Well, for sure, the second game made my day, Lucifer, and how it, went out for Team Truerippers. And even we saw that Crowley discussing that Truerippers gave us some more respect and we took it. We took the respect against them. So definitely that was a great game. And in both games, Revenant making the comeback was definitely a great highlight. Well, for sure, going over you.
Man, great evening we had. Splendid performance coming in from Revenant. As they said, they were the ones who had the biggest cojones today. The nerves of steel, I wouldn't put it in that manner, that they kept that composure. They did not fall into anxiety and did not give up in fights. When they understood that their teammates are nearby, took on head on. But for now, it's done for this weekend. We'll be looking forward to for the next weekend and wishing the 3 teams which we still have in the Indian region all the best. For their teams which participated, thank you so much. I know you will be coming up back bigger and better. But until then, it's going to be me, Lucifer, along with Mrudul, bidding goodbye for at least this weekend. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.